Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. You know what it is. Petty Sports. Brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studio. I'm Mike Bell, baby. We got a full table tonight. Got Miss Lele. Got FamousFeez on deck. We got Brother Banks on the end over there. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, we got a fun-filled, packed show for you tonight. We got a special guest, couple of special guests tonight. So, man, y'all tune in, call a neighbor, co-worker. Tell your friends we on. It's that time. Get you something good to drink. Share the show, man. We on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter. Go to the Simple Radio app. Type in that Post 880. The Post 880 radio over there, man. You can listen to us on our internet radio station. We really greatly appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, without further ado, I'm going to pass it on down the line. What's up, Lele?
What's up, everybody? What's up? Hey, everybody. What's up? What's up? How we doing? Glad to be back as usual.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what it is, man. We done had another heavy week of football, baby. I'm back. I'm ready. It's all day. Let's go.
Disappointing week of football, but we back in this thing, man, ready to rock and roll. For some, there have been some recent reports of some fans jumping ship, sending out resignation letters and all that good shit in the A. But hey, we in this bitch, man. Let's go.
See it all.
Yeah. Hey, Lele, you want to go ahead and introduce our special guest?
Yes, so today we have our very own Mr. Daryl Orlando Ledbetter, sports writer for AJC, who's going to talk with us about the Falcons tragedy on Sunday. And then at 9 o'clock, we have J4, known as Javin Foreman, who's going to give us the inside scoop on Jimmy Buckets and the Miami Heat. Stay tuned.
Hey, Daryl. How you doing, Daryl?
D-Led.
D. Orlando Led, Atlanta's own.
I ain't heard nobody ever call him Daryl. Hey, Daryl.
I mean, you know, I just had to introduce you good, you know?
She was doing her formal speech.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
hey, Daryl.
Don't be
Yeah, he
joning on
forgot
me.
his name. He like, what?
Right.
Falcons beat writer.
A good intro.
You know what I mean? What's happening with you, bro? You doing all right over there, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Just making it through the week, making sure, you know, we get an assessment of what happened last week and try to see if they can get ready for the 2-0 Chicago Bears, who will be coming in on Sunday, undefeated, with 2 squeaky wins. Got by the Lions on a drop pass by DeAndre Swift, and then went up 17-0 to the New York Giants. Then held on when Saquon Barkley got hurt, and but you know, defense looks pretty good, and you know, they still got Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. It's always a pleasure to have you join us here on the show, man.
Always.
So thank you. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you'll be with us for at least a 30, 45 minute set here before you have to get somewhere. So, man, we just gonna jump right in, man. Everybody start that watch party. Let everybody know we got D. Orlando Ledbetter in the house.
Yes, sir.
He's in with the Petty Sports crew tonight. Share the show, help it go viral. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what it do, Feez?
Oh, yeah. Lele got us. She about to take us in.
Let's go. Let's go. It's gonna be a pretty lit show today, everybody. So we have to talk about our very own, the Dirty Birds. Oh my gosh, y'all!
Dirty they are.
Do we have to start with that?
We have to.
I'm just joking. I'm just
We have
joking.
to. So our very own beloved Dirty Birds dropped 0-2 after blowing another monumental lead. So what went wrong? Being up 20 to zip the first quarter. I mean, obviously, our defense was a main reason. I mean, my thing is we draft so many people on defense, but hey, where were they? So, what do you all think?
I think it's a couple of things, right? I think some injuries hurt. Tack going out, and I think I guess D Orlando give us a little bit more feedback on what Tack's injury is going into it. I think Ricardo Allen went out for a second, so you got a couple of things like Tack was. It appeared in that first quarter, that he was on fire. Caused 2 fumbles, a sack, the whole 9. So you was like, oh man, this might be our day. Mm-hmm. He goes out. You really don't find a replacement, and you really don't have a replacement for him. And then that kind of neutralizes Fowler a little bit, right? I still don't think that Keanu O'Neal is 100%, although we did see flashes of it. He made a spectacular knockout shot, but then he also got beat on a wide out, right? So I think he should have never been there. He fell and looked like he got pushed off on, but if you look at it again, he just got his ankle broke. So it's just one of them things where what could go wrong went wrong, man. Offense sputtered. Julio at the time was always 1 catch for 5 yards going into the third quarter, maybe fourth quarter. You know, so it was just one of those days, man, where we still have not figured out how to utilize or capitalize on mismatches. I know we're trying to push this girly thing. I'm a girly guy. Like, hey, man, let's go with it. But when you look at the numbers, Edo Smith and Brian Hill, yards per carry, a little better. And he got 6 times more carries than these guys got. So we got to start looking at other options. We got to start throwing the ball to our running backs and so forth, you know, to kind of change the way this thing looks up a little bit. But we'll get there, I hope.
Look like the Falcons just straight falconed that thing, man.
What they do, Feez?
They falconed it. I don't even understand what be going on, man. Like, I'm watching a game. I promise you, I sent out I made a Facebook post at the end of the first quarter when they were up 20-0.
You sure did.
I was like, man, that's a nice lead you got there, Falcons. It'd be a shame if somebody came and ruined it. Mm-hmm. And the damn show happened. And even though I know I was, I didn't speak it into existence. I was watching how the game was going. Even though they were up 20-0, it looked very similar to another game that we won't actually bring all the way back to you. All I'm saying is Dallas wasn't playing bad. They kept turning the ball over. They were moving the ball. Those plays were working, and then they kept putting the ball on the ground. As soon as they stopped fumbling the ball, they started walking that ball up and down the field. I know D-Les said the defense looked good, but I'm like, what defense are you talking about?
Well,
they're 31st in total yards, 31st in passing, and 32nd, last in the league in points given up.
Well, I think 2 things.
That can't mean they look good.
So you look at the overall defense. I think they did look okay. They look better than what they looked over the past. I look at certain
this
things,
low in forever.
Well, I look at certain things like, you know, AJ Terrell. They're not even targeting his receivers. So that shows that young fella is playing pretty good ball. He's showing that, you know, he may not be, he is the number 1 cornerback right now because Oliver still struggling in press coverage. You know, he's getting wore out. And we still trying to get the secondary in place. But more importantly,
number 1 corner on the worst pass defense in the league don't mean much.
No, I'm just saying he's a rookie. And so when you look at it, he was the one guy that everybody, the fans, like, oh, no, why do we get him? I'm like, this kid's a baller. And now when you look at the game, you know, Russell Wilson I think he got targeted 3 or 4 times in the Seattle game and maybe twice Sunday. Mm-hmm. Like, this kid is actually playing good ball. So when you look at it from an overall perspective, you go 3 and out, punt. No damn turnovers. Just wasn't really getting first downs either, eating up no clock. That put your defense in a very bad situation.
It was just like last week. I think Feez said the same exact thing. I was like, man, the defense, at least for the first half, they looked really good. Like they came to play ball, but somewhere along the way during that second half, the wheels started to fall off, and you like, yo, what are these guys doing? Yep. You know, and you just start scratching your head like, what's going on? You know, are you guys tuned in? You know what I'm saying? What are you out here doing? So I think they start off well. The game plan seems to work initially out of the gate, but they start doing too much. The guys with the X's and O's start doing too much, man, and it just starts to falter and looks like it looks a horror show.
Eli, did they go into that prevent too early to you, or it looked like they did? It looked like they may have gone into that prevent like midway third quarter.
Yeah, they say they didn't. They said they kept attacking. I only saw one more blitz. The blitz by Terrell. I thought they stepped back a little bit too much in the second half. You know, they're saying they have to stop people in the red zone and they have to stop the explosive plays. Those are 2 big things, you know, have to stop.
Yeah, but but that's football, right? Like
that's a lot of
stuff. Like listen. Like, that's everybody's game plan, right? Oh, we got to stop him in the red zone. We can't give it explosive play. That's like from the damn coaching handbook of what to say, a la Dan Quinn.
Downs. Yeah, third downs was his other big revelation about what happened in the second half. I was like, hey, did y'all stop attacking in the second half? And he was like, no, we kept attacking. I'm like, I didn't really see that.
Unless Tack is just that guy right now, right? And then I don't know who came in to replace Tack, you know, but it was a huge drop off. If you guys were still attacking in the third quarter, it didn't look like it. Like I said, that AJ Terrell corner blitz, again, something that we have not seen in forever with the Falcons, of freaking corner blitz. I was so happy to see that. It was like, damn, we actually doing something different here. Mm-hmm. You know, so I was glad of that. But yeah, it just seemed like they went real pedestrian on that defense, man, in the third quarter. And early in the third quarter.
Man, so we got to get to the elephant in the room. I know you done talked about it. I know you done talked about it to the end of time. What the hell were they doing on that onside kick? Zerline kicked the ball. It took it like 30 minutes to go 10 yards. It was spinning real fast, but it was moving forward really, really slow. And they were just watching it.
That's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah, that was a lot of the players, the only players that were on the field there that have been made available, because they're using the pandemic to cut back our access, was Julio and Calvin Ridley.
And Hayden Hurst was down the field.
Really on the other side. Really on the whole side. Julio's back because they were waiting for a high hopping kick,
bounce,
which would have been the Julio. But when it didn't bounce, they just looked at it.
But Hayden Hurst is standing right there too.
Hayden Hurst, Jaden Graham, Alaygra Zacchaeus, and it's I don't know the fifth one.
But this is your hand. This is your hands team.
It's the hands team. It's the hands and watch team, apparently, because they got
I mean, they picked a hell of a time to do some social distancing out there with the ball, man. It looked like
it's
a
sloppy.
real. I mean, fresh out of a timeout now.
They sitting there watching the ball like
veteran guys, supposed to be your hands crew, opted not to use their hands.
Well, they didn't know that. They didn't know the rule that the receiving team, those first 10 yards are yours. You can go kick them upside the head and take the ball. Right. You can kick the ball out of bounds. You can do anything to the ball. They can't touch it. They can't touch you. They can't do nothing for 10 yards. So why they let it roll 10 yards?
Who knows?
Beyond comprehension. And the owner even came out and said that, hey, they didn't know the rule.
That's sad, man. We've seen people come up and pick it up early. But when it goes short, you've seen people from the receiving team actually pick it up and run a touchdown.
Yeah.
Because you can scoop and run. What are you waiting on? Right. They were sitting there waiting on the ball no, I don't want the game. You take it. No, you take it. The Cowboys tried to give the game away. That retarded 2-point conversion they went for when they were down by 15 and scored a touchdown. It's why would you not kick the field goal or the extra point and then wait at the end if you score again? They tried to ice the game to where they weren't in it anymore. And then y'all gave it back. Jesus. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man, being an Atlanta fan overall.
It is. It's hard.
You want to stick with them guys, man, but doing stuff like this, I mean, we always on the wrong side of history, making history in the worst way with our squad, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The memes, I mean, the internet is just going crazy.
We just can never close the deal. We'll have a good lead, but we just can never close it.
I think it's just setting you up for the bittersweet time when we do win that big thing, and we can all sit back and be like, yeah, we were all here when it happened.
The big thing was like a regular season game.
Oh no, it's Super Bowl.
At this point, winning a regular season game would be a big deal.
Right.
So D-Led, let me ask you this question. I know they're going to give you the politically correct answers and all that while you do your thing. What's your sense of the overall attitude or optimism of the team as a whole, the players and so on and so forth? Or do you see much of what you saw last year or the last couple of years, and you're not that optimistic that we're going to be able to get it done?
You got to start asking yourself, okay, maybe they don't have enough talent. To see a team that can't put a whole game together, that's the first sign. I mean, they can't keep up.
Right.
So, they came out in Seattle, played 14-12. They're in there at halftime. Boom. They're playing. They got them stopped on third down, and then Oliver happens. Then the offense has got to come out and take control of that game, and they couldn't, and had to go for the fake punt, and the defensive back gets hit. Now that game's out of control, so you're out. The second game, they come out playing good and can't keep it going. The good teams keep it going. And, the only excuse they got is, hey, we didn't play in the offseason, and these are exhibition games.
I mean, hell, Dallas didn't play in the offseason either.
Yeah, you got the same platform everybody got.
I'm just trying to give y'all some hope. You know,
we need it.
That's the only thing I can come up with is, hey, they weren't ready to play this season. Dan Quinn's teams always start slow, and here we are again with another slow start, but they don't have 8 games to fix it this year. It's got to get fixed right away against Chicago, and they got to go up to Green Bay and try to get to 2-2.
That's a tough order right there.
But yeah, but before we finish, so does Dan Quinn, does he get the axe if the Falcons don't dispatch the Bears this week? Because mainly, I mean, everybody's blaming him, but would you all basically blame special teams department?
For me, man, like Dan Quinn and me and D-Led talked about this last year. I think Banks and I went back and forth on this. I was not in favor of bringing this crew back anyway. I said scrap these guys, you know, but seemingly the hardliners out there believe these guys were playing for Dan Quinn. The brotherhood was rising up, and we start this season out as fans thinking they might be able to keep that same energy, but turns out like they gunning for his job the way they playing. Like this regime is done, man. I'm not impressed by anything they're doing in preparing our guys to be a force on the field to win games. Now, we've lost 2 big NFC games right now. These games could potentially come back and bite us real bad. And I just, my hands are up. D-Led, remember when I say, man, get rid of all the guys. He said, no, man, you know, we need to keep these guys. Ain't no need to start over from scratch. Yeah. I'm like,
your voice just now. D-Led impersonation.
I said, yo. Hey, D-Led, you remember I said that? I was like, man, you don't have nothing to lose. Like, we're gonna wind up with the same thing. And here we are, 0-2 out the gate. We don't even look like we're very competitive at all.
But Mike, I'm gonna disagree with that, right?
Of course.
I mean, the thing about it is, like D-Led said, we look competitive. And D-Led said, well, you start to ask yourself about talent, right? Do you have the right talent on the field? I don't necessarily think it's talent. I think it's more so coaching scheme. Mm-hmm. Like, it appears that Raheem Moore's maybe a little over his head. You know, the second half adjustments is where we start to break down it as a coaching staff across the board. So I think if we can right that ship and figure out, like, you know, these teams are going into halftime, figuring out what you're doing against them, and then they're countering that. Now you got to be able to counter their counter. It's a chess match, right? And we have not been able to do that. Look at the Super Bowl in 16, you know, even look at the first half of last year, and it's always been this cycle, right? So we haven't been able to do that, i.e. the Seattle game. You go in down by 2 at halftime against a team that's, you know, by many predicted to win the NFC or be in competition to win the NFC. And there are a lot of people that say Dallas has that same type of team as well.
They are a mirror image of one another.
So to lose to them is not that bad. The fashion in which we lost is the issue. So,
and that's what I'm saying. Maybe you thought I was talking about the players. I was talking about the coaches.
Well, no, D-Led said the players at first said maybe we don't have the right talent on the field, or enough talent, I should say. So my thing is, you weren't favored in any of these games, but when you were highly competitive in the first game, in the first half, whooping ass the first quarter of the second game, and then you just shit the bed the second half in both games, that's a coaching thing to me. That shows coaching.
Falcons were favored in this game, not by much. They were up. I think they had a 3-point line on that.
Because of the injuries, because of the injury to the offensive line. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry.
3-point line is a pick 'em anyway. You get 3 points for playing. Oh, never mind. They were on the road.
Yeah, they were on the road.
So when I say that, I just simply say
Vegas
that
was tripping.
It is really truly just the coaches that are not able to make these changes and make these adjustments. Now, Mike, to say to get rid of everybody, do we give Matt another offensive coordinator to take 2 years of jail with?
What's
he ain't got that. He don't have that much time left in it. I mean,
what's
shit.
What's the difference?
It's called a devil you know, and that's all it is.
Gentlemen, we gotta move on from the Falcons tragedy. But before we move on, we want to thank Mr. Ledbetter for chiming in with. I thought.
He got to. What you think about that, D-Led? The coaches, man.
The coaching staff, you know.
If they lose next week, if they lose this week to Chicago, do you think some heads will roll? And what's your take on the coaches up to now?
Oh yeah, I think it will. I think they're not. They didn't have the team ready. They didn't have the team ready to start the season, just like last year. They didn't have them ready. The year before that, they didn't have them ready. His teams are always streaky, and that's the sign of coaching. You got to get your team ready to play at a high level and keep them there.
Yes.
He knows how to work his way there, but he ain't got time for that now. You know, they brought him back thinking that they were 12-14, and they already done lost 2. So, the schemes, I think they're doing on defense like they did last year. They're trying to do too much.
Okay.
They're trying to set up in a 3-4 and fool people. Got 2 people standing up, 2 people in, mixing zone with a man, and them kids, they don't have it. So it's gonna take a while to fix that. Offensively, the running game isn't there. If they could run out the clock with 4:57, Coach Smith and them used to do this all the time with Michael Turner and Obi Mahaley.
Yeah.
You got the ball, you up by 9. All you gotta do is run out the clock.
Run the ball.
They get a first down. Then on first down, they get lost for 2. And so then they get cute and try to pass. And of course, they get sacked. Now you 3rd and 18, and you got to punt the ball.
Super Bowl.
Power run the ball. And they didn't learn that from the Super Bowl.
Exactly. That's my point,
that's coaching.
Y'all picked up the man with the bonnet thinking he was a savior.
Not the bonnet.
You know what? With all the coaches that we have for all these different tasks, D-Led, do you think now it's time for us to have a fourth quarter coach?
That's a good question.
I'm saying, do we need a fourth quarter coach at this point, man? We got somebody watching the clock. We got a coach for everything, man. Now we need a fourth quarter coach.
Everything but the game.
The third quarter coach, too, because they've been outscored in the third quarter coming out of halftime. That was a really good point Banks made about the adjustment.
God,
so D-Led,
third quarter coach and fourth quarter coach.
For those that are watching, man, we got D. Orlando Ledbetter, beat writer for the AJC Falcons beat writer. D, run down real quick, man, the experience of the coaching staff and how many former head coaches we got on this staff so people can understand that.
Well, yeah, we lost Mike Mularkey. He retired down in Jacksonville, so he was a head coach 3 different times. Raheem Morris on defense, head coach with Tampa Bay. Bob Sutton was a head coach at Army, but he's was defensive coordinator with the Chiefs. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator under Smitty, and under Jack Del Rio with Smitty down in Jacksonville. He was a head coach at Tampa too.
Watch your tone out there, Castro.
So when you see
it's
that,
too many Chiefs. You got all these head coaches out there. Ain't nobody making the right call.
But the thing of it is, though, you got head coaches in coordinator position. So you should be able to see it a whole lot different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy where you got former head coaches with years of experience in coordinator position. You got a former defensive coordinator in your own head coach right now, and they can't seem to put together adjustments. Like, you don't have to ask anybody that shit. You know what you got to do, make the adjustments on the field, right? So you can't even blame, like, it's one of those things where people say, well, Raheem Morris and Pure be on that short list again about head coaching. You can't be possibly considered a head coach if you can't even make an adjustment for your own defense over the top. You guys heard the sound. We know what it is. Feez, let them know.
Man, it's way too many, man. Like, y'all got all the, just like I said, there's way too many Chiefs. You got all these head coaches. They're not head coaches any longer for a reason, but it is 8:24. So check it out. Y'all know what we do. Every night, 8:24 p.m., tribute to my man, Kobe Bean Bryant. Go ahead, count us down one time, Bill.
3, 2, 1. Kobe in the house. Rest in peace, me brethren. We always represent here at Petty Sports, brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. You watching the Wednesday night edition, man, with the special guest, D. Orlando Ledbetter, the AJC beat writer, joining us here tonight, man. We really appreciate it, giving us some real inside information on our boys or our birds, our sick birds right now, man. So, thank you. Share the show. Get at us in the chat room. You can also call our Petty Sports line,
678-871-9602.
678-871-9602. It is scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now. So, man, get at us. We want to hear what you got to say, all right? ATL.
Yes, call in.
My man, Robert Blaylock, thanks for checking in, although he is a Cowgirl fan. What it do, Robert?
Castro.
Castro checking in. Another Cowgirls fan.
Yeah, watch your mouth over there, son.
Yeah.
Get that on deck, Lele.
All right. So the Bucks right the ship in a win over the Panthers. So what's the ceiling for the Bucks team?
Shit, nothing.
The ceiling, just the nature of the question. I think the ceiling for the Bucks is possibly winning the division and losing in the wild card.
You think they got a shot at winning the division?
The division does not look good. The Falcons are 0-2. They're 1-1. The Saints are 1-1. The Saints are playing Green Bay next week. They're going to lose again. The Bucs will probably be first in the division by next week.
Who do they have this week?
Panthers 0-2.
They play. Who does Tampa have next week? They got Denver. They're at Denver.
Yep, they're in Denver. Exactly right.
Tampa could very well be at the top of the division.
So Fournette showed up this week, and I think we all kind of talked about it, like hey, with Shady, Jones, now Fournette, who's going to be that guy to get the bulk of the carries? I think it's going to be a foregone conclusion that Fournette's going to be the guy.
Yeah, it started off with Ronald Jones. They look like they 11 Leonard now.
But he looked good though.
Yeah,
that first game, Ronald Jones looked good. Against the Saints defense, he looked good.
Yeah, and Bruce said he was going heavy on me. He calls him Rojo.
I like that. Yeah. So he looked good. So I think now Fournette coming back now, if they can develop that two-headed monster in that thing, they will definitely be a problem. I still don't think an aging Brady is the guy. Just like, we'll talk about the other aging guy with the mole on the face in a minute too as well. So I don't think them cats are the guys, but all the weapons that he has, I just don't think he has the arm strength to be able to do it, nor the mobility to do this in and out in the NFC South. We're going to get at you and so on and so forth. You saw the way the Saints got at them. You see flashes of that with the Falcons. Carolina just what Carolina is. Now that McCaffrey's out,
Carolina's done.
You can write them up. You can write their ass off. They done burnt the chicken on that shit.
Because Teddy Bridgewater got sacked 5 times.
Listen, it doesn't matter. Without McCaffrey, they have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I say their ceiling is winning the NFC South for the simple fact that the schedule. I mean, like the next 6 games for Tampa, they got Denver, the Chargers, the Bears, Green Bay, the Raiders, and the Giants. They could easily go 5-1 in that stretch and end up 6-2 after 8 weeks.
Ooh, exactly
they could easily be front running the division.
That's right.
But I don't see that carrying on into the playoffs. But I think they could take the division just with the favor of schedule and way everyone else is looking.
Is that your Brady mode though? Because you got Brady glasses on too.
I said they losing a wild card. There's only everyone plays in a wild card except the 1 seed now.
Yeah.
Well, even with that being said, your boy Brady, I think by that time they'll be a well-oiled machine. So it'll be hard to stop those guys at that point with the leadership and the veteran postseason players that they have over there, man. I think by then there'll be a hard ship to stop, man. You know what I'm saying? The GOAT will really probably have to show up at that point.
Right.
But prove who he is.
Can he though?
Well, coming out of the NFC South, he can, I believe so. Because you're looking at Breeze, like he said, he's just looking like not himself. It's looking like Father Time is catching up to him. You got the Falcons looking like they're looking right now. The Panthers are who they are. They stand a good chance of running away with this thing if the Falcons don't get on the ball.
But a pretty pedestrian kind of Brady, 23 for 35, 217, 1 TD, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That ain't the GOAT to me, man. That's like a guy that's just managed. That's a manager of games.
And if you can do that, that's
like
fine.
That's like an NFL version of AJ McCarron.
If you can still win doing that, I guarantee you they'll take it every week.
Okay, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think then once teams start to shut down your run game and say, hey, we're going to force Brady to beat us. That's what's going to happen,
and that might be a mistake because they're still gelling. I already said it's going to. We're not going to really know who Tampa Bay is until probably week 4 or 5. Until week 4 or 5.
The chemistry has still formed.
What do you think about that, D?
At least I don't have to defend them anymore.
Yeah, I think you really can't. I'm just waiting for Jamie Dukes taught me this a few years ago.
Jamie Dukes.
You don't really have tape on anybody to the 4th game.
Okay.
The 4th game, you've seen everything. You can cycle through. So, I just kind of, this stuff early on, you're going to see a bunch of wild fluctuations. And then, at the 4th week, and then really by the 6th week, you can say, okay, this is a good team. They can go places.
Okay.
So, I'm looking forward to that. But, you just want to not stumble out of the gate like the Falcons have done. They've mastered it. They've done it.
Talk about them
3 years in a row now. So, Cleveland stole one from Cincinnati, whatever they're going to be. You got to steal these games early until you get your team get together and, get it down on what you're going to be doing and so forth. The Falcons might not get the benefit of that if everything, doesn't go well for them on Sunday.
All right, playing the way we do.
And so, and then to Feez, when we talked about this thing, and you look at the stats of this game, right, with Carolina, damn near on paper, man. If you look at just the stats, like first downs, 24 Carolina, 20 to Tampa Bay. Total plays, Carolina had 71 total plays to Tampa Bay's 57. Again, we understand that Carolina doesn't have an explosive offense outside of McCaffrey, and their defense is what it is. I tell you, I really truly think that, man, Tampa Bay showed a chink in their armor, man. Like, I think Carolina may be the bottom of our NFC division. Well, I say that, presumably without the Falcons being at the bottom, right? But you look at it, 122 yards on the run, on the rushing. They really didn't do, or they weren't just world beaters, man, against the Carolina Panthers. So I think that, given that everybody, if we can't use the excuse that the Falcons can't say these are all preseason games, we can't give Tom Brady that same excuse. We can't give it. He got down there early. He went down to Tampa early, went to the OC, got the playbook early, even walked into the wrong person's house to go get the damn playbook during the pandemic. He should be ready. He's the GOAT.
But that wasn't the question. What is the ceiling for them?
I think the ceiling for them, man, to be quite honest, was maybe number 2 in our division.
Number 2?
Possibly 3.
Behind who?
Saints and the Falcons. I think the Falcons. I really truly think the Falcons.
We just gonna rest the case with the Falcons.
No. Really, I think New Orleans. I think New Orleans is still.
Dude, we're gonna have to.
I'm gonna still say I think New Orleans is still the best overall team in the division, and I think that 2 and 3 spot is a fucking toss up. To be quite honest with you,
you must be wearing Todd Gurley's bonnet.
I'm not wearing a bonnet today. I'm wearing my Hillgrove hat, man.
All right.
D-Led, let me ask you this, man, before we hit on to this next one. How many more games do you think Breeze can afford to have lackluster performance before they start looking at Winston?
That's a good question.
Coach Sean will pull the trigger pretty quick if Jameis is doing anything in practice.
Okay.
He's picking everything up. He see Drew is, throwing, it's not there. It's not happening.
Okay.
He's not going to waste the season away. He'll just eat the money and be like, hey, we tried it. Because he won 5 with Teddy Bridgewater last year.
That's right.
So, I'm thinking if he gets 2 and 3, he's gonna probably pull the trigger on give Jameis a shot. And see if he can bring Breeze out of the bullpen later in the season.
All right.
Well, that's you all answers, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess we'll go to the is Drew Brees starting to show his age and segue into that one.
Yeah, we about to get to this one right now.
D-Led, what are you? Go ahead, Leg. I'm sorry, baby.
The Las Vegas Raiders opens their shiny new stadium with a shocking win over the New Orleans Saints on Monday night. So are the 2-0 Raiders for real? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning they were looking a little questionable, but at the end they secured that.
No. I'm gonna definitely say no. I'm gonna say no for 30 different reasons.
Come on.
I'm gonna give them to you though.
Okay.
The first one, they should not have beat Carolina. The Panthers should have won week 1. The Raiders were very, very fortunate to win that. That game that we watched Monday night,
okay,
they were supposed to. That was one of those. It didn't matter if they were playing the NFC All-Stars. They were going to win because they had just opened that stadium. Allegiant Stadium was going to open with a win. Don't care who they play.
Adrenaline.
Okay.
You saw the Saints came out. They were up 17-7 in that game. And then the second half happened. 100 yards of penalties. The referees took the game from the Saints. Granted, I can't vouch for Drew Brees. Drew Brees did not throw the ball longer than 5 yards the whole game.
He wasn't productive.
But despite that, did you see the calls? There was a horse collar call where a man grabbed the he did grab the horse collar, but he let go of it. He didn't even pull him. But shoulders didn't come back. Like he grabbed it, was like, oh, like that ain't where I'm supposed to be at.
But
let
he brought him down though.
He didn't bring him down that way. He let it go. Then they got an illegal crackback. Where I think it was Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
He came up like he literally just came up and he bumped him. Like he didn't even hit him. He just got in the way. He's like, hold up, like this is good as a block. Like I got in the way so he could run by. They like crack back.
But in real time, it did until they showed it back in the replay. You showed it didn't really look that egregious, right? But in real time, it looked like it was hard. But just like I know, had Emmanuel Sanders just came in and did the shield thing, the NBA thing, you don't get a foul on that. The NFL is cracking down on that, and it's CTE and all that, man. So you got to minimize these hits on these cats.
The dude didn't even hit the ground. How you get a crackback with somebody who's standing up?
It's part of the game. You give it to receivers all the time. You got to give it to the DB.
At least the way they did CeeDee Lamb for that crackback, he actually did hit, buddy.
Man, you remember a couple of weeks ago, I predicted the Raiders wouldn't even be a 500 team this year. But, I mean.
They still won't.
But listen now, I'm hard-pressed to not believe that now because they running through the NFC South, which was supposed to be one of the toughest divisions in football. Now,
Keyword there is supposed to be.
With 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, they showed up and did their thing.
Yeah, keyword is supposed to be. Next 4 games, they got Patriots, Bills, Chiefs, Bucks.
Yeah,
0-4. They'll be 2-4 after week 6, and you won't be talking about the Raiders no more.
Oh, we'll see.
So, D-Lad, what's your take on that? You think Gruden is the real deal? You know, he was questioning about his moves with Cooper. Then he got rid of Khalil Mack. And then he utilizing the draft picks and all that. Do you think Gruden is the real deal?
Well, certainly Coach John can coach. Yeah, I do think he's the real deal. He was on the Green Bay staff when I covered the Packers back in the day with on Mike Holmgren's staff. He was the wide receivers coach. He coached Sterling Sharp and Robert Brooks, Antonio Freeman, all those guys before he went to Philly with Andy. So he's definitely put in the work, and the players respect him. He's just been building that team, and I don't know if he's got enough on defense, but he's worked wonders with Derek Carr.
Correct.
Found Darren Waller. You know, Darren's a kid from Georgia Tech, went to North Cobb High. So I mean, everybody in the league's 8-8. It's just who's going to play well and be coached well every week, and who can get to 10. And there's no, the Chiefs could probably be a super team, and maybe Baltimore. But other than that, everybody's in the same boat. You got your bottom feeders, the Bengals and the Browns down there. But everybody else is in the middle trying to get to the top, and they are definitely one of those in the middle teams with a good head coach.
And they still hadn't figured out how to get Jerry Jeudy incorporated into this offense.
No, they picked Henry Ruggs.
Ruggs, I'm sorry, Ruggs. It's Jerry Jeudy. Ruggs. Yeah, Ruggs. But here's the thing, though. So Waller is definitely, made himself to be, one of those early contenders when you look at top-tier tight ends in the league. I heard one of the announcers say that he's probably a better pass catcher than Kelsey or the kid in San Francisco, Kittle. I don't necessarily, I don't agree with that early on because of just his body of work that hadn't been there, but he looked like a damn world beater. He looked like a world beater. And, if they can get that piece going, get a semblance of a running game going and then get Ruggs into the mix with the passing game, they can be very effective. The key part of that would be what their defense will look like. Will their defense be able to stand tall and steal games?
And they got 2 massive tests in the next 2 weeks.
Right.
I mean, with 2 defenses that have prided themselves on stopping this passing game. So we'll see what Derek Carr really is. They're at New England and Buffalo in the next 2 weeks.
What's your pick on that one?
They're losing both.
Okay.
And then they're going to lose to Kansas City the week after that.
Oh, well, I can see the Kansas City. Are you sold on Cam? I mean, not to get off tack. Are you sold on Cam?
I'm buying what he's selling. After what he did Sunday night, I mean, we definitely going to get to that game. I'm all the way on it. You heard us last week.
I know.
Cam.
We know.
Oh,
Cam.
Oh, boy.
Cam
He's not doing a good. He's doing a pretty good job.
He's
doing a good job.
He's doing his thing.
He is. So do you all think, is Drew Brees starting to show his age? Because he really, true.
Yes.
Because he really was not that productive.
30 times, like Feez just said, yes.
Leg called this, like you were saying this about a year ago.
I said it.
You came on and you gave him the business because he only threw for like 3,000 something yards, even in a season where they had a really good year. So, I mean, what do you think of it now?
Well, the other thing was in the playoff game when they needed to throw the bomb, they brought the Tyson Hill kid in. That was a sheer tip-off right there.
That's the show sign.
I've been watching his balls the whole time, and I just didn't see the same steam on him. He just was getting things close to Michael Thomas, and Michael Thomas was making the plays on a lot of stuff for him.
Yeah.
You get 40, you can really tell on the deep stuff that there's no steam on that ball. And he's just relying on his accuracy and underneath pinpointness. So that's going to be enough to win against the pretty bad teams, but it's not going to be enough to win a Super Bowl or be a playoff team. So Peyton's going to figure that out and go with Jameis at some point.
Well, you look at his out routes. He's not even throwing that crisp, darting on the out route passes as well. The other part of that is, with the absence of Michael Thomas. You just mentioned it. You just mentioned it, D-Led, about that underneath, that slant and all that stuff. Michael Thomas is like the reincarnated Jerry Rice, right? Mm-hmm. Like he and Breeze live on that 10-yard slant, that that skinny post and all that. And without Michael Thomas, Breeze looked like just a regular guy. So the age is definitely starting to show, right? Without that premier receiver, he's just a guy.
Right, the wide receiver job is to make the quarterback look good. So without him,
Michael Thomas damn show makes him look great. Exactly. He makes him look great, man.
He's been pedestrian the past for these 2 weeks.
Right. Because he's been relying on Alvin Kamara. So
you look at what he did these 2 weeks. So he's 44 for 68, 64%, only 472 yards in 2 weeks, in 2 games. Week 1, 2018. He was 37 to 45, 82%, 439 yards and 3 touchdowns. In 1 game, in week 1, he did more than what he's done in 2 games this year. Last year, he was 74% completion, 370 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's clearly regressed. Like, he can't even do that anymore. It's like everyone has been on Brady about being old and forgot that Breeze is only 1 year younger. He hit the cliff quick.
Yeah.
He played at Purdue the same time Brady was at Michigan. They were both there in the 90s.
Okay, same time. Well,
that dude is 42. He ain't a whole lot younger.
If you look at it, and to your point, right? Alvin Kamara was the leading receiver on this team this week.
Basically, in the first half.
Listen, well, I take this back. Your top 2 receivers for the Saints were Alvin Kamara and Traquan Smith. All right. Come on now. Emmanuel Sanders, you figure, would have had a breakout game. 1 for 18.
Where was he?
Listen, man, listen. Everybody figured out Breeze is not going to beat you with the deep ball, and you're going to hit the running back in the backfield wheel routes and things of that nature. At the 3rd or 4th check down, guy, and that's what you've been getting. Without Michael Thomas, Drew Brees is just an average guy.
It's a blow. And do you all think it's karma, though, because of what he said, statement that he made?
He's just old. He's just fucking old. He's just
all the time. Karma all the time.
You call it what you want to call it. He's just old.
Wrap it all up together.
Okay.
Father Time is undefeated, just like that.
Well, you all kind of answered the next little topic. Are the Saints in trouble after having their lack of deep passing game exposed?
They in deep trouble. They got Green Bay next week. Like, the way Aaron Rodgers is playing, Green Bay is going to beat the brakes off of them and put the heavy alert sign up. They lose that game by 20-plus points, it's going to be a problem.
I think, like, to D-Led's point, if they're down by halftime by 20 or so points, you may see Jameis come in at that point. Because at that point, you really got to pass the ball. And if Michael Thomas, even if he comes back as just a decoy player, not having his ankle fully healthy, right? You're still gonna have to go with Jameis. If they find themselves in a 20-point hole going into the second half.
In prime time too?
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
That's Sunday night.
It's gonna be a problem. D-Led, do you think that the Saints are in trouble?
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. They won the division by so many games though last year. They won it by 6 games. But certainly losing Michael Thomas is a big blow. But I always, when I think they're dead, Coach Sean finds a way to pull them together and coach them out of the box that they've been in. So I won't be too quick to write them all the way off. But they sure didn't look too good on Monday night against the Raiders. So we'll see. We're gonna see Green Bay. That's a good test. They came out the gate on fire. And we'll see. Detroit wasn't much, but they took care of them. That's what good teams do.
Yeah.
Detroit's not on their level. They take care of them. They wasn't playing around with them. They dropped that 43 on them and went on out to the park after that. So,
Detroit usually gives Green Bay trouble.
Yeah, I mean, divisional rivals like that play them. And Detroit usually, it's not unusual for Detroit to steal one of those games in that series, right, during the year. So it just depends on how it works out. I think, was the first game at Lambeau or was it at Ford Field?
It was at Lambeau.
So that Ford Field game is going to be crucial. Detroit will probably play them really, really tough then just because it's divisional rivalry, with that being said. But Discount Double Check is playing his ass off. And it seems like they've gotten that head coach and diva quarterback symbiotic relationship is kind of meshed a little bit, right?
He might just be healthy now. He's looking like 2017 Aaron now.
He looks great, man. He looks great. But they were also having public discord between the head coach and Aaron Rodgers and what they were looking for. But after going 13-3 last year, Aaron has to admit this guy knows what the fuck he's doing.
Right.
And he's in that shitty hand coaching tree as well, though. And people talk about coaching trees all the time. D-Led, I want to get your input on what you think the Shanahan coaching tree looks like, and do they have the new offensive magic potion going forward for this new type of player, athlete that's out here and so on and so forth?
Well, it's this old Elway offense he got from his dad, with Terrell Davis, and then with all the stretch runs.
Right.
The Falcons say they running that, but they won't stretch the ball because Matt Ryan won't turn his back to the defense. So they're just tossing it out there and calling that a stretch. But the San Francisco's running it. You got that offense in Green Bay, and you got the Ravens offense, which is the Kaepernick pistol.
Right.
That Greg Roman took with him from San Francisco. Them was going to be the two offenses of choice. And you got, I haven't studied air raid out in Arizona much, but that's the old Texas Tech air raid with some pro tweaks on it.
Okay.
Kyler Murray's making it look pretty good so far. They looked real good when the Falcons played out there last year, but I haven't studied it. But them look like the three offenses of choice where the league is moving towards mobile quarterbacks. And, that puts the Falcons in their bind for the next couple of years. Unless they decide to take the salary cap hit and rebuild under the new coach if they go that way next year.
Right. And those new quarterbacks, Dealer, I know you're a former baseball player as well. Do you think those guys that are, the Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, former baseball player, former middle infielders, you think that's the new way to go, that dual sport athlete that's coming over to play quarterback that has that innate skill set as well?
Yeah, my man John Crook from Toronto paper, he covers the NFL, so you run into him and stuff. And he did a series on all of the quarterbacks who played baseball. Matt Ryan was a baseball player. Usually it's a pitcher. You end up being a pitcher and the throwing motion's the same. And Tom House, the old Braves pitcher, is now one of the great quarterback gurus. All the quarterbacks go to him out in California.
Wow.
Because the mechanics of throwing is somewhat the same. The balls are different, but the mechanics are the same. And baseball guys that, can pitch a little bit, probably can throw the football a little bit too. So, yeah, you can definitely see that trend continuing.
Good deal. There it is.
All right. Well,
from the words from the mouth of D. Orlando Ledbetter, if you got one of them kids out there that's playing baseball and football, don't give up baseball just yet, baby. It might correlate to some big time money in football.
Right. Don't sleep on the sport. Don't sleep.
Especially they get into a bidding war. Look at Kyler Murray. Played that thing out right and looking like a world beater right now out there.
Yeah, Arizona look good.
Look, hey, that kid is looking great, man. Like, he is looking great.
Yep.
Eerily scary.
All right, so we're going to have our sponsors presented by Mike B.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. You're watching the Petty Sports Wednesday night edition brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studio. I'm Mike Bell, baby. Lele over here. You got FamousFeez. You got Banks on the end. And our special guest tonight is D. Orlando Ledbetter, the AJC beat writer for the Atlanta Falcons, joining us. We really appreciate it, man. Start that watch party for everybody that have. Thank you. If you haven't, what you waiting on, man? Help the show go viral in digital. You know what I'm saying? Sports back on. We got a lot to say about it. Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. D-Led, this is your exit, man. You getting ready to head out?
Yeah, I gotta move on. I got bumped in Chicago, but I'm doing something with Ricky Hampton and Tim Turner, a couple of those NABJ guys out of Detroit and Memphis. But certainly it was my pleasure coming by the show and hanging out with you all.
Man, thank you.
Always.
I appreciate you taking the time out and sharing with us, man. Thank you. Till next time, good sir.
Hey, let them know when they can find that Bowtie Chronicles, big boy. Let them know that.
Yeah, at D Orlando AJC on Twitter, and then we dropped the Bowtie Chronicles on AJC.com and our Facebook page, Atlanta Falcons News Now. You can get everything in all three of those spots.
The Bowtie Chronicles drop on Wednesdays, right?
Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock. Yeah,
yes,
we
sir.
try to preview the upcoming opponent on Wednesdays, And on Sundays after the game, I try to wrap up what happened. And this one on Sunday was really fun trying to put a flow around that one. It was like, man, what happened here? But, so yeah, we try to get that Bowtie Chronicles out fast after that game. And then we try to get you ready for the Chicago Bears this week. Roquan Smith's coming back home,
Okay.
Georgia kid. James Walters played at Tucker, went to Stanford. Devon Wings, Riley Ridley, Kendall Valor from Georgia Southern and North Clayton High.
All right.
They got a pretty deep Georgia posse
Yeah.
with the Chicago Bears, and they'll be coming home to play the Falcons on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
All right.
Roquan Smith in the middle of that defense too, baby. Ooh.
Y'all heard it from the best. You heard it from the best.
All right, man. You take care.
Thank
And till
you.
next time,
All right,
good
take
sir.
care.
All right, be easy.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
appreciate you coming out, Doc.
Right, likewise.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving right along. So, wow, this is a great topic right here. Deion Sanders, a.k.a. Prime Time, has been named head coach of the Jackson State University. As he quoted in Yahoo Sports, God called me to Jackson State. And you all, this is a trailblazing move. So hopefully other black players who want to turn to head coaches follow suit. So what do you all think?
I think this is a monumental move just for the HBCU movement.
Yes.
We've already got a whole bunch of players. Mainly it was basketball where top recruits were talking about going to HBCUs. With Deion out there, he can absolutely foster this to go onto the football side of things. I mean, he already has high school coaching experience. I mean, Deion was doing this thing. I mean, he was coaching at Trinity Christian School for the past 3 years as an offensive coordinator. He's been a head coach at Prime Prep Academy and AAA Academy. So, I mean, he does come in with a few credentials, and he turned those programs around. I mean, his name is everything.
Right.
There were some fake news reports talking about Warren Sapp and T.O. coming out there. That's
It would've
absolutely
been too good to
not
be true,
happening. I
right.
mean, that would be crazy, but that's not what's happening.
Right.
That was a false report. But, hey, I mean, I think him coming out there, he's going to have a lot to work with. He's going to have recruits in. They're probably going to get the facilities up over a very short period of time. And he's picking up a program that's been losing for the past 7 seasons. I mean, over the last 7 years, they've been below 500, like since 2013. The last 2 years, they were 11-14 under their prior head coach, John Hendrick. So, I mean, he can come in, turn this thing around, really make some noise. They're out there in Mississippi. He's going to take recruits from Ole Miss and Mississippi State. He may not get the top recruits, but anybody they have that's supposed to be next man up ain't there to come up.
Correct.
He's taking everything else you got. And eventually he'll start getting some of the better guys.
I agree completely. He's you look at it, it's always been, NFL players, you're like, wait, why don't you give back? Why don't you give back? And even though he didn't go to an HBCU, he understands the value of it. Doug Williams was at Grambling for years. You had Ken Rowland and Earl Hitman Holmes at FAMU for years. Stump Mitchell's always been at Southern for a long time, and now Morgan State has Tyrone Wheatley. So now Deion goes, he's still in the youth sports, high school sport, from a Hall of Fame athlete to now coach it up and doing a hell of a job out in Cedar Hill, Texas. I think is a phenomenal move for Jackson State. You mentioned the woes that they've been having on the football field and so on and so forth. A move like that from a football perspective to a school that can really use that boost, is going to build that program up.
Right.
The high 3-star caliber athletes and some of your 4-star caliber athletes is not getting that prime Power 5 offer, this, that, and the third. Get an opportunity to go down and play with Deion where the spotlight's going to be on him. His contacts. A lot of what you do when you go through this recruiting piece of it, head coaches and obviously the location is one of the things, right? But you also look at the head coach's connections. His connections with his prime U, his training that he does with DBs, wideouts, and now his son's a top-tier quarterback going to FCU, Florida, going to FAU, if I'm not mistaken. This is a huge move for Deion and for Jackson State.
Oh, definitely.
And you look at the basketball players considering, some of the, top-tier HBCU basketball programs. This here is going to be an amazing thing. Now the next thing is to get one of these Hall of Fame guys like Griffey to go somewhere like FAMU, North Carolina A&T, and do that for the baseball side of it. You'll start to see a change in this culture. You'll start to see a revisit to the HBCUs and the athletes that have come out of it. And you definitely need it because the representation of African American players on the basketball side and the pro side, also on the football side of it, is enormous, like 80%, right? That's crazy. And then, you still got quite a few of them that come out of the HBCUs. This year, due to COVID, we missed the HBCU Combine. It would be really good to see how this thing impacts that this year, where now you're going to lend the voice of Deion Sanders to this and say, hey, man, I play in the SWAC in place of MEAC guys, or whatever the case may be. These are some top quality athletes. They need to get the invite. So where they were just doing 50 players, this may catapult to 100 players. Right, yeah. So now the opportunity is there. So you can tell your kids now, if you can play, they will find you. And that's what you're looking for.
Right.
Uncle Shay, you up next? Come on back to SSU.
Hey, that would be.
Go Tigers.
Bring the Henry Miles back to Savannah.
Oh, man. And Savannah's a nice little destination. People like, when you look at some of the college towns that are out here, like, there's nothing in Athens. There's nothing in Tuscaloosa.
Our campus is beautiful. Our campus is beautiful.
Yeah, there's nothing in Tuscaloosa. But Savannah is a very historic city, nice outside of the big area.
The oldest city in Georgia.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful city. You know, so you can bring people there and you say, okay, well, shit, man. If we put a little money in this thing, Savannah should be able to attract some top tier athletes.
I hope we do.
And the beach 15 minutes away.
Yeah, it's like, hey, man, you can't ask for much more than that. So I agree with you on that. Like,
a lot of people don't know Savannah. I think that was the first state capital of Georgia.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
But so like with Deion coming over to Jackson, how long you guys give him?
Oh, shit. I think Deion will be there 20 years, man.
Yeah, he there for the long haul.
I really, truly believe that. Like, if you look at prime time, man, he's one of them cats that like to hang his hat on stuff and say, I did that, or, this is what I've done. He's been giving back to kids. Like, this Truth Academy that he started, man, our kids are now 18 years old. So, Truth was coming up to Atlanta, 10, 12 years ago with a football team out of Dallas, right? Those kids are now transitioning into college. And if you look at his resume of kids that he's gotten into college through his program, it's amazing. The Trinity Christian right now that he has in Texas, all of the seniors except for 3 of them have scholarships right now. All but 3. That's amazing. As a head coach, you look at him and say, man, he's doing something right. Now, he may be recruiting the best kids in that area, right? Or some of the best kids, but there's still something to be said about all but 3 of your guys got college scholarships.
And the 3 that didn't get scholarships, maybe he'll offer them a
at
spot
Jackson
on the
State.
team at
Hey,
Jackson
man, you already know, Mike. Like, I mean, they're probably going to go to Jackson State now and continue that tutelage under Coach Prime, and they call him Coach Prime. Think about that for a second. Coach Prime.
Right.
Yeah, like the dude got his own nickname off his own shit like Coach Prime. And he answers to it. And then to make yourself accessible to kids that, you can look up and say, man, I played Madden and Deion was a guy. Or they might even be too young. They all came up during a time where they were wearing the Deion cleats, right?
Yeah.
And then the Vic cleats and all that. But now you look at it and you say, man, wow, I get to play for a Hall of Famer, a guy who knows.
And not everybody can, get a chance to say that.
And think about a baseball player now. Even though Deion played, 9, 10 years in the MLB? Like, again, to go in there and have a conversation with Deion about, hey, coach, what do you think I should do? Or, hey, I play baseball, but I'd be more than happy to come play football as well if you got a spot over here.
Right, yeah.
That now offers that, what we just talked about, that transitional athlete that played a little football but got more love in baseball. Now you go to Jackson State where athletes are a premium.
Right.
They're trying to fill roster spots and so on and so forth. You got a partial scholarship in baseball. Now you get a little bit of football money with that as well. That cuts out that out-of-state fees. Shit, man, you might have you something.
That's true. Yeah, it's a game changer with primetime being the head coach. I mean, like I said, this is only the beginning. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Way to go, Prime.
Exactly. Congratulations too.
Yeah.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, like
put some
Banks
respect on HBCU names.
For real. Like Banks said, he's constantly always giving back, man.
Yes.
This is adding to his legacy, even off the field.
My man Samantha Colburn say he's a graduate of Jackson State. Our very own Black Playboy.
Okay.
Graduate of Jackson State. Iris Banks is graduate of Jackson State. I got a bunch of friends, man, that and family. My sister-in-laws all graduated from Jackson State as well. So it's a huge thing for those guys.
Shout out to the YE brothers.
Shout out.
Hey, newsflash. Atlanta United just won. They beat Orlando 1-0.
Okay.
That was Dallas, not Orlando.
my bad.
FC Dallas. They beat FC Dallas.
All right, gentlemen. It's 9 o'clock.
Y'all see it.
And now, guess what this, though? With Deion coming, the Sonic Boom of the South is not only they're not the only draw now to come to football games. People may stay all the way to the fourth quarter. So they will leave after halftime. That's all I just dropped that in.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9 o'clock, everybody, and we have to bring our second guest, who's the man of the hour, Mr. J4, who will give us the Miami Heat versus Boston Celtics series breakdown.
J4.
And most importantly, the inside scoop on Jimmy Buckets and the Heat.
Jimmy Buckets.
J4.
All right, welcome to the show.
What it do, bro? Welcome, man, to the Petty Sports segment.
What's up, Petty Sports family, man? How are y'all, man? What's happening out that way?
Life is good, man. Life is good. Glad to have you on the show, man. You've been calling in for a few weeks now, bro. Good to put a face to it.
Hey, man, it's only right, man. It's only right, man. First, I got to salute y'all for y'all body of work, man. I hear y'all start giving that HBCU love tonight, man. I love what y'all doing, man. Y'all dropping that lit, so it's only right that we connect, man. So, man, let's get into it, man. Are y'all ready for this, man? I'm sure y'all watching the scores in the whole 9, man, but
Hold on. Let me ask you this before you get started.
Yeah.
Where you calling from, man? Where you zooming in from?
Well, man, it's actually a location undisclosed, man. I'm a hoops prophet, brother, so I really can't disclose that at a time like this, but I will tell you, man, it's the city under siege, man, the ATL, brother. I'll let you know.
Oh, my God. That's what's up, man. I love it.
I'm in the dimension right now, man. So as my man Raphael told you, brothers, man, I'm a hoops prophet, man. The sister, she kind of, summoned me by talking about the boy Jimmy G Buckets, man. Some guys refer to him as Black Son.
Come on.
I hear you a big Butler fan, man. All the way. Well, man, he's like the god to you.
Some people are fans, brother. I'm what you call a dog trainer, right? I raised that boy up. So I'm from Chicago, man. So I was there when Jimmy G Buckets kicked his whole little thing off, man. So I feel like I raised the boy. Man.
Come on now.
Right.
Where you from? You say you from Chicago. All right.
Yeah.
Indeed, man. So let's get off into it, man. I know a lot of people got opinions about what might happen in this series and that sort of thing, man. But I look at it as like prophecy is about to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? And as I look at the Petty Sports Show, you know what I'm saying, here on the hotline, I feel like y'all are kind of the underdogs like Jimmy G Butler was. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the reason I call in because it's high quality. So you got to have an eye. I can see where y'all going. I'm a hoops prophet. I can see where y'all about to take this show, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just what my eye does. So I saw when Jimmy stepped on the scene what he could do, man. So let's break him down first.
All right.
We ready?
I rock with the boy. So
break it down.
Coming from humble beginnings like many of us, right? You know what I'm saying? Homeless brother. You know what I'm saying? Had to make it the hard way. Came up junior college. Made it to Marquette. Guys, didn't expect him to be where he is. You know what I'm saying? 30th pick, man. But how did he get it? He got it through hard work, right? He got it. Am I still with y'all?
Yes, sir.
He got it from the mud, like we like to say, through hard work, man. So that's really why I've always ridden with him, man. What I think he brings to the table that we all have to do is believe in self, right? He may not be the most talented. He's not the fastest, the tallest, the strongest. But it's right in here. It's that heart, right? And that's what it takes to make it. So that's really why I ride with the boy, man, and why why I'm a fan of his brand and what he represents. But
true that.
And looking at this series, man, I can't take anything away from the Celtics because I like Jaylen Brown a lot. He's the kind of dude.
Local boy, right here from the A.
Indeed. And so I know what you all represent, as we talk about this HBCUs and looking at, society through the lens of sports. I was actually out for the Black Lives Matters March. I was over at the MLK Center. And, man, look who rolled on the scene leading the Black Lives Matter protest was Jaylen Brown, man. So
I seen that.
I salute that brother.
All right.
Yeah.
So Jay, let me ask you a question. It's been a lot of talk about Jimmy Butler in his first Eastern Conference final. He's had some travels. Like you said, he was a 30th overall pick. So still went pretty high, but he was an underdog. He's kind of made his moves. He's been around, the Bulls, Minnesota 76ers now. You think this is his final home with the Heat, and then, is he gonna produce and show up?
Man, I think what I like to say, man, I say prophecy is being fulfilled. Cats wrote him off, right? They said, man, he's a problem in Chicago. But what I say is justified. Look at the Chicago situation. They basically chose Fred Hoiberg over him. He said, you need to coach the team harder.
Petty, was he wrong about that? Did Chicago need to be coached harder?
I think they did. I think the thing was,
Chicago just wasn't that good.
He publicly criticized some of his teammates, and that may be a leadership thing, right? He publicly criticized some of his teammates, along with D-Wade, but you can't really put yourself in the boat D-Wade, future Hall of Famer. You can't really side with that, and then people kind of jumped on him a little bit more than they did on D-Wade on that.
Yeah, and I think that's for the reason that we look at and say, man, who are you, a 30th pick dude? You know what I'm saying? You just kind of got on, who are you to criticize somebody, right? But now he's showing improvement because everything he said has come true. So let's go to the Minnesota situation. Andrew Wiggins, he said he didn't want it, so what did he do? You know what I'm saying? When they paid Andrew Wiggins over him, what did he do? He said, okay, cool, you made your choice. I went in and destroyed them boys with the B team in practice. Again, justified in Minnesota. He was right about Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins got the boot.
He also destroyed Karl Anthony Towns' old lady.
Oh my gosh.
We ain't gonna forget about the turmoil that he caused.
Allegedly.
Right, put that word in. Allegedly.
It's enough women in Miami. He ain't got to go for none of his teammates' chicks.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. He probably learned from that, man. But to answer the brother's question, man, I think, he's found his pack of dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? He's found his pack of dogs. That's the system. You know, with Spoelstra, with Pat Riley, with what they represent. So it's that fit. I don't think he's been right at every turn. But he's matured some.
There you go.
But when it comes to hooping, I think he plays the game the right way, and that's why I think Miami will have a really, really good chance to go up 3-1 tonight, because what I call this Ty G. Usually he starts off, he might take a couple shots and let the game come to him, but right now he's putting his fingerprint on the game from the jump. As we look at Miami up 20-18, I haven't seen the box score, but I know he's got 6 or 8 points. He's been ultra aggressive, and so I think that's dope about the way he plays the game. And the way Miami plays, he's going to let the game come to him if he needs to lead the team in assists, rebounds. But I do think the man is about winning, man.
I am liking what he's doing out there. A lot of folks like to call it hero ball, but I'm like, man, that's what all of us that have been watching basketball longer than 15 years like to see, is your superstar take the game over. Jimmy may not have more than 8 points going into the fourth quarter, but the game is close. We get to the last 4 or 5 minutes. He's like, hey, look, I'm taking every shot from here on out, and I'm going to take us home. And the team is like, do it. We're going to play defense and rebound and get you the ball.
Listen, so let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do we consider Jimmy Butler to be a superstar?
All-star, I don't think he's on superstar status yet. He's definitely all-star.
Okay.
So now with that, what Feez said, when he came out and made that statement, right? And he said, hey, I'm taking every shot. I wasn't planning on passing. And my teammates was okay with that. That shows the respect that they got about him and his work ethic within just the practice and all that stuff. He's doing it on the court, right? For a guy to come out in public, like Kobe never said that. Jordan never said that. LeBron has never said, when it came down to it,
done it.
I was not planning on passing. I was taking every shot. And his teammates, Pat Riley, Spoelstra, everybody, nobody said, well, that's not the type of ball we want to play. Nobody said that. So that shows a lot of kudos to that guy by coming in each and every day, working his ass off and doing what he got to do. And you ain't heard no issues with him other than the fact he won't get a damn haircut in the bubble.
And that shows that he has good leadership, man, because not only did he say it, he did it, and he represented with it. A lot of guys, he delivered. Delivering is a big part of what's going on with that guy right there. Now, my take on Jimmy, I really like the guy. He's a baller. My thing with Jimmy is I don't think he comes with that same energy every night. And I think that's what's going to hinder him in advancing to a championship on this team right now.
That was early in his career. I think you look at him in the bubble, man. He's coming out. He's playing. I know Feez got the numbers on him, so we're going to let Feez get the numbers.
The last series, he took a couple of games off, but he did enough, or the team did enough to get by. In this series so far, it's still early, but,
Even in the games that it seemed like he took off, he still comes back in the fourth quarter when it's money time. So if you don't score 40 in the game, but you close the game, that's better than being like, oh, man, he went for 47, but he only had 3 points in the fourth quarter, and they didn't finish, and they lost. That's what Jimmy's doing. But He's closing.
The other thing you got to look at is this. I think we're seeing maybe not a superstar, but a star player approach the game in a different way, right? So you look at the way that Golden State approached and played the game. spreading the ball out, lots of cutting and all that. We hadn't really seen that before. Our eyes had to kind of adjust to that. We've never seen a star player lead the game in all these different ways. And I'm going to do whatever it is I have to do. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to get us a bucket. But look at his steals. He's never taken a play off as far as steals go. He's never taken a game off as far as effort goes. So you may not see it because we look at the box score for scoring, but I don't think you ever see him not locked in. Now, what I think you do see him, and this is him getting to these larger moments, is sometimes not have the awareness in this moment what's needed from him. And I think last game showed that. I watched some replays where sometimes he should have been aggressive to score the ball. He was still trying to kind of spread it out. So I think that'll come with maturity. But what I think you're seeing from him is saying, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win. Not that I'm laid back and I can't score in this situation, but he's got to pick and choose his spots a little bit better, to your point.
So Jay Ford, what you're saying is that in that last game, I think it was more so just trying to get everybody involved, right? What a true leader would do, right? Understand that even to win the finals and win a championship, he can't do it by himself.
100%. And he said it though, and see, especially to you all's point, with his skill set, he doesn't have the skill set to go out and get 40 a game like LeBron anytime he wants to. He knows not only for his skill set, but it makes them that much dangerous. That's the way Miami is won. Right. When you don't know who that 25 is going to come from. When you look at these other teams get stagnant, because if it's not Jamal giving you 25, you know what I'm saying, in Denver, if it wasn't Kawhi and it wasn't Paul George, that's why they got stuck. And see, that's why I think LA can be beatable, because if LeBron and Anthony Davis don't give you big games, who else is it going to come from? I think they can beat Boston for the same reason. Now they kind of figured it out. You got to get Jaylen Brown has to have his, but you're going to have an off night from some of these young boys. Tatum is going to have an off night. One of these games, what's going to happen when he can only give you 16?
Right.
To your point with Boston, though, Boston is the only other team in the playoffs that has enough guys who can actually fill it up like that to contend with it. It's just like Miami is spreading the love. They're getting night in and night out. 4 or 5 players are contributing heavy. Boston's getting the same thing. That's why this series been so tight. That first game was probably one of the best games that we've seen in the entire playoffs. And the whole series is going to be like this. I feel like Boston is going to win the night. It's going to be a 7-game series. I got Boston taking this thing in 7. I know you're going with Jimmy Buckets. But I can tell you the same thing about Jason Tatum that you're telling me about Jimmy. About him and his come up and how he's risen and starting to take off. He's right there with him. And he's got a squad that's comparable. This is a very good series. That's why I think it'll absolutely go 7. But I see Boston taking him out in the end.
So let me tell you the key, what I want you to look for. All right, this is what I want you to watch for. Kemba Walker is going to slip again, right? That's going to be one thing. They cannot stop Bam. They have issues stopping Bam. You still haven't seen Duncan Robinson get all the way off. You've seen him have good games. You know what I'm saying? I think Spoelstra has a better game plan. And I think aggressive Jimmy, I do not think they have anybody on that team that can deal with aggressive Jimmy without getting themselves fouled out the game, or to be smart that steps in and tries to play that role, and it'll take his offense totally off. That's what to look for. I don't think Miami is going to have much of a problem. Miami wins this game, and I think Miami wins the next game. And Miami is about to get rid of these boys.
Okay, let me ask you an interesting question.
Gentlemen, what you call it, a gentleman sweep?
Yeah.
So
no,
when
they didn't win the first game.
Oh yeah. Well, 4.
Y'all just keep talking.
Oh. Go ahead, Lele.
So when Jimmy Buckets, when he was with the Bulls, playing with the Bulls, with Dwayne Wade, and it seemed like Dwayne Wade basically took Jimmy Buckets up under his wing. So do you think that Dwayne Wade planted seeds for Jimmy Butler's arrival in Miami? Like just as far as putting him on game, as far as strategy and stuff like that?
Hey, it might come out that the boy Pat Riley sent him there to get the G. You know what I'm saying? It might just come out. That might be a Riles move. Riles gets who he wants. You know what I'm saying? But there's no question. They've said it that Dwayne Wade kind of sold him on it. And if you look at his game, he's kind of a D Wade light. He's a light version of D Wade. What we saw, he fits the system perfectly. You know what I'm saying, man? But I think, body wise and, size and that sort of thing, he can give you you know what I'm saying, what D-Wade can give you. But I think defensively, because of his size, he's a little more versatile.
And his age at this point. Yes, yes. Like we talked about D-Wade a lot of times. Like when his legs left him, he wasn't as explosive.
Yeah.
That 12 to 15-foot shot he can always get that shot off. So now you get that in Jimmy Butler, and you say, okay, now he has all of those tools, but defensively, he's still gonna, you got to play him the full time, offense and defense. You got to play Jimmy B. And I think that's what D-Wade got him, that tutelage, that even that maturity, right? To come in and say, listen, man, you got all this talent. I'm going to show you how to be an all-star, this, that, and the third. And if they make it to the finals, man, I promise you, man, it's going to do a whole lot for that kid's career because it's going to put him, Mike said, was he just a all-star or superstar? He makes it to the final and he gets his opportunity. I think you see that kid from Chicago, that hard brick court player come out with that grit, that determination, and gets at, whomever comes out of the West, right? And I think it's going to be one of those things that catapults him to that superstar status.
Indeed. Let me throw a question out to the panel. So like you said, so if he's able to, just say he goes to the finals, he makes it, they win it, or maybe they don't win it this year. If he gets a ring, tell me what he has to do besides that. Does that put him in the Hall of Fame conversation? 5-time All-Star. I know my man Raphael got the stats over there. FamousFeez got the stats. You know what I'm saying? Talk to us from a stats perspective, Feez. Would that put him in the Hall of Fame conversation, or what does it take?
I think just if he was to take this team to the NBA Finals this year and win the finals over LeBron, as monumental an accomplishment as that would be, there still wouldn't be a lock for Hall of Fame. He'd have to at least back it up. He wouldn't have to come back and win another championship, but he'd have to sustain that level that he played at to get them there over some time. So, I mean, it would be very similar to what we've seen Kawhi do, where it's like, oh, okay, like, so you that dude? Like, now can you come back and do it? Because Kawhi's about to start taking all of that heat. I mean, you've been watching everything and seeing all the scrutiny that's coming to him because he's been getting a whole lot of passes. I mean, he carried teams in. He has destroyed the Greek Freak, but Jimmy just did that himself. What he hasn't done is come into the finals and beat a healthy team. I mean, we all can agree that Golden State would have absolutely won the finals last year had everybody on the team not been hurt. We can't discredit the championship. They won the championship, but that's what Kawhi did. And this year they got bounced by Denver. So, like, man, if Jimmy is able to take them in there, beat a healthy Lakers team, and come back and make a formidable run next year and sustain the level of play that he's playing, then, I mean, over at least like the next 2-3 seasons, he really built a Hall of Fame campaign. But this season, if he was able to do that, that'd be the staple of it. But just this season alone wouldn't be it.
I think he would have to, with the prior teams he's been on and, the failures that they've had coming out this year, if he wins one this year, again, like Feez says, come out and put another campaign together like that. And then ultimately he would have to also change his game a bit to be more assist friendly. If I would say, he had to be that guy from an assist standpoint, like I hate to say it, and he may be able to do it, but like a Rondo type guy, right? Sustain a career, long lasting career with this thing as well. He could possibly put together a Hall of Fame resume. Right now, he just doesn't have enough, and the one win, if he wins a championship this year, won't solidify him as a Hall of Fame player.
I mean, he won't necessarily be a Rondo type guy because Rondo is a true point guard. You know what I'm saying? That's not what Jimmy is. I think what Feez says knocks it out the park. He has to do much more. Now, if he goes and beat LeBron this year, which I highly doubt, they have, and I like them coming out of the East. I like Miami coming out of the East. I picked them the whole time after Milwaukee left. After Milwaukee left. After Milwaukee left.
They beat. Okay, all right, because we both chose Milwaukee. Okay, all right, okay.
Everybody chose Milwaukee. I chose Boston, who's still playing.
So, I think that's a big matchup problem for Miami. Even if they play Denver, it's still a matchup problem that I don't think they'll be able to overcome. But, the game, you have to play it. It ain't played on paper. But, yeah, if he has to sustain some type of longevity at a high level of play to be considered for the Hall of Fame eventually.
I think the Lakers have shown people, if it is Denver, right, that Miami's zone defense will give Joker, whatever you want to call him this week, fits. Give him fits, man. It'll give them fits, and I think they'll deploy the same type of deal they did with the Greek Freak. Is as keep his ass out the box, zone his ass up, and then make him win from the perimeter and things of that nature. So it'll be interesting to see it, but they still got.
I think Bam can defend him too.
They still got a serious shooter over there in Denver that just give anybody damn fits, right? So
yeah,
he has to do a lot more, all that. And I didn't say that he will be a Rondo type player. I said he have to develop into more like a Rondo type player who's more assist centric than scoring, right? In order to do that, and then Miami has to go out and get another big or another player, a pivotal player to go along with Jimmy B to keep this thing rolling.
Okay, well, since we mentioned the Lakers take a 2-1 lead into a pivotal game for tomorrow night in the bubble. So do you all like the Lakers to take a 3-1 lead or the Nuggets to tie it up at 2-2?
I mean,
the Nuggets been beasting.
The last 2 games the Nuggets have played the Lakers, right. They could very easily be up 2-1 right now. I mean, one Anthony Davis shot is the difference in where the series is at.
True.
I mean, Jamal Murray has come out in the post game and like, man, we feel like we're up 2-1. Like they got crazy confidence. I don't think they're really trying to go down 3-1 again for a 3rd straight series. I mean, I think Denver will come out and win Game 4 tomorrow and then lose 2 in a row.
I don't think they're gonna do it. I think you're gonna see now the king will get up, take his crown off, take his robe off, and impose his will on the goddamn game. At this point right now, he's gave everybody else an opportunity. He's kind of, I don't want to say rested, but he's kind of just take that pedestrian that LeBron will do, take that pedestrian or sort of pedestrian approach to the game, right? These next couple of games, he wants to seal this thing off, get his rest, get the team rested, and get ready for whomever comes out of the East. So I think he's going to go out and get in these boys' ass. Like, you're going to see more of that ISO, LeBron driving to the hole, getting to the foul line, the whole 9, and going that route with it. I just think it's just what he does.
I think after watching the game yesterday, even though Denver won the game, watching the game, you just felt like the Lakers were getting ready to come back and just take over at any moment. You never felt like they were just out of the game. And
maybe you didn't watch the same game.
Well, I mean, this is my take, good sir. Like, Anthony Davis had to sit down for a period, and I believe that hurt them in the long run because that lead grew. But he's still a solid guy. I think he'll regroup for this next game, and the Lakers will handle business, man, like they're supposed to.
All right, we gonna
the Lake Show will be prime time, and this guy Rondo, people like to underrate this guy, saying he wasn't going to be a intricate piece in their playoff run. And I said this before the bubble started. Rondo is an intricate piece, and as soon as they get him back, it will make a world of difference. He don't have to score a ton of points. Whatever points you get from Rondo is the cherry on top. But the way he handles and distributes that ball as a facilitator on that court, it is a game changer. He knows what he's doing, and I love the interview he gave after Game 2 win. He was like, "Look, LeBron brought me here for a reason, to do a job. He didn't say the Lakers. He said LeBron. He said LeBron brought me here for a reason, to do a job, and I just want to do my part in helping this team win a championship." You know what I'm saying? He said, "I'm going to go home and study this film. That's what I like to do. I like to break down film and find out, what other teams do, their tendencies, and where we can find those cracks and crevices to, make the small plays eventually turn into the big ones." So, I mean, yeah, man, I'm loving everything the Lakers are doing. They failed last night, but I don't think you're going to see too much more of that.
I told you they win in 6. They're going to lose one more game.
Well, I gave Denver 1. I gave them 1 game to win. That was the one last night.
They won.
You have to get I think for the Lakers to really do what they got to do. Yes, LeBron, AD going to do what they got to do in this thing, but the pivotal piece is going to be from the bench play. What can my bench players do? A la the Rondos and the Kuzmas, even Dwight Howard. Even though
showing up,
you got to get out here and you got to put up more points. The ADs, the LeBrons and all that, they can only do so much in this series without that. So I think you got to get more out of your bench players. And JaVale McGee, 4 points, 0 blocks. Shit like that not gonna get you a championship.
But I mean, even you can say that with Denver, and that's probably why they'll lose this series. They don't have that consistent play. One thing you can count on from the Lakers, LeBron is going to give you LeBron numbers, AD is going to give you AD numbers, and so far throughout the playoffs, the supporting cast have been showing up. The Kuzmas, the Caldwell Popes, the Rondos. Dwight Howard didn't even play hardly in the last series. But this series, he's showing up. He's physical. He's intimidating down there. He's blocking shots. So, I mean, everybody seems to be amped up right here in this Western Conference Finals, man. So, the Lakers look like they want to put they want to seal the deal and move on.
So, man, how can you explain JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard getting 4 rebounds collectively?
Off night.
3 7-footers, 4 rebounds?
Off night. It happens.
Is Joker that good?
Off night. Off night.
I mean, really, like the supporting cast for the Lakers really just, it seems to come down to whether or not Rondo can knock down open shots. They leave him open. Whenever he makes a decent amount of them, they win.
And that's right.
Rondo was Rondo last night.
He was.
And they lost. And those wins, you be like, man, when Rondo drops 20, then you can cancel the whole game because you're going to let Rondo have those shots every night because everybody knows for his entire career, Rondo's never been able to shoot. It's as simple as him. Just like you call Rondo being pivotal, but you didn't realize how pivotal he was. I know there's no way you ever dreamt that Rondo will come out and have great shooting performances.
That's why I said, whatever you get from him on the scoring side will be a plus. But between
it's
he
really
and
a swaying factor now.
He and Caruso, I mean, I think they're doing an outstanding job. Like, they're doing it, man. Like, they're doing what it takes for them to show up and be effective on the court. Last night was an off night, of course. I mean, that, you have to give it to Denver. They've showed up. Jamal Murray, he don't show up every night. We're still questioning him as a superstar. Can we put that tag on him right now? So, we'll see. It's a wait and see type deal. But I think the Lakers are going to come out and still show up, and the Lake show will prevail.
That's true.
So, man, check it out, J4. Before you get out, man, I know you gave us the Buckets report, man. What you think about this Lakers Nuggets series?
You know what, man? I'm under the act like what you guys have been saying. I think LeBron is going to inflict his will on the game. I think he's just kind of been pacing himself to a certain degree, filling the game out. I think it's clear no one on the team can really stop him. But I think what he's got to be careful about is, especially, being in this bubble and how the vibes and everything is different, is just not to go super hard. And see, he understands how to win championships and how to win games. He cannot, expend his, his shoot wad in this series and not have anything left for the finals. So I'm sure he's conscious of that. But LeBron is like bionic, man. His biometrics, he probably understands exactly how many points, what he needs to do. But you're going to see him turn it on and inflict his will. They'll certainly win. Bron will orchestrate. But I wanted to ask y'all this. What do y'all think about Dwight Howard and his goon role he's kind of been playing, man? If y'all want to drop me off, I'll listen to y'all online with that. But I'd love to hear y'all thoughts on this whole goon thing, man. It's comical to me.
I think he's embraced it.
I think never been a goon.
He hasn't, but so far, I think he's after sitting out so long in the bubble in the playoff series. Now that he's in the game, he's amped up. He's embracing his role, and it's effective. Last night wasn't so much, but so the first 2 games, Dwight Howard, you looking at him like, damn, where's this guy been? And you'll take it. You'll take it. So I mean, I wouldn't consider him a goon, but he seems to be kind of coming off that way a little bit. So I kind of agree with you in that aspect of it.
If I had known you was going to ask that question, I would have had Gary load up the graphic of Kobe when he was like, soft.
Yeah.
That's who he was talking about when he said it.
Yeah.
Not a goon.
And I fought at Dwight when he was at the Lakers and he wound up shipping off. Where did he go after he left the Lakers? Houston. Like, how do you not gel with a player like Kobe? Kobe got the recipe, man. I got rings, and you come over here and you don't want to follow suit and fall into place with the game plan we got set over here for you, man. It's a winner
because he still thought he was an offensive threat.
So
and so now with this goon role,
he's
right?
back.
Now I don't necessarily say he's back. Now he's just a foul magnet.
You got 6 of them. Use them.
Yeah, you got 6 of them. Ain't no sense in you sitting there. You're gonna get you 12, 13 minutes a game. Use your fouls.
They can call him Bill Winnington, Luke Longley.
Yeah.
Well, he's
one of them guys.
I agree. He is in that role right now. You know what I'm saying?
But he could be so. I think for a 7-footer of Dwight Howard's caliber, right? he could be so much better. He could be so much more dominant on the boards, defensively and offensive boards, right? He could be that guy. He could still be a shot blocker. He should still be a rim protector. He's not that guy still. And it's something here, right? And it may just be his makeup, right? He just, like Coach said, he's a soft guy.
That's not it.
Even when you looked at him in his early years, right? He wanted to be this finesse type guy as a 7-footer benching 500 fucking pounds. Like, dude,
too much, huh?
You are a monster. Get it in your head that you can be a monster in this league, and it ain't just about slam dunks and doing this, that, and the third.
Right.
You should be a force to be reckoned with out here in this game. And he's still in great shape. Like, if you look at him, you can't tell that he's been in the league all these years.
No.
Like, Dwight was in great shape. He should be that guy. And I think for the Lakers to really turn this tide and really just take off, LeBron's going to do what he's got to do, but you got to get more supporting cast. And it may start with Dwight Howard.
And Dwight, you're never going to get much out of him offensively. He's just not that dude. I think on the defensive end, he can be what you signed him up for. A threat in that regard. But offensively, he missed way too many buckets down low.
0 blocks in 2 games. He ain't that guy.
I mean, Dwight is more like an afterthought. Just like that whole topic, man. We got to let them boys go. We're going to drop them. Like, man, my man J4, yo, hey, we appreciate you for coming out today, man. Like, man, he called in. We rock with you, man. Like, you want to tell the folks how to find you? You're still mysterious.
Shout out.
Man, and what I will say, man, y'all can find me, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook, man, Universal Fan Union. You know what I'm saying? We over there rocking. Those are my people, man. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, you'll find me anywhere Hoop Prophecy is being dictated, man. So I'm at Petty, man. You can find me every Wednesday, man, jabbing for, man. You know, Instagram and all that. But I said, tell this brother, prophecy will be fulfilled. I told you Jason Tatum would have a bad game. He's 0 for 5 right now, brother. So stick with the Hoop Prophet, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all do.
Man.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for chiming in. Thank you.
Thank you. Bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. The Seahawks beat the Patriots on a goal line stand in the closing seconds of a great Sunday night game. So is Russell Wilson the best player in the league right now? Because, numbers don't lie. So do you all think best player in the NFL right now?
I mean, you really can't deny it. I mean, if the MVP award was being given out right now, it would be Russell Wilson by a landslide, unanimously. Like, the dude is playing damn near perfect football. The one interception he threw was because the tight end dropped the ball. Like, it bounced off of him. McCourty ran it in for a pick six. He set Russ up. Like, he killed his perfect passer rating, even though his passer rating still was sky high in that game. So, I mean, he threw for 5 touchdowns. But, I mean, just for the rest of that game, I'm all the way balled in. I'm sold on Cam. I mean, Russ balled out. And it was to the point where Seattle was up. I think they were up 12 in the fourth quarter. They took that lead. I was looking at the game. I was like, damn, man. It was like we had this thing. Like, we was right here where we needed to be. We cannot stop Russ. And then Cam came out and started throwing darts. I mean, he was throwing long balls. Them things was looking good. He looked real comfortable.
Correct.
He was sitting back in the pocket, going through progressions, poised. When they blitzed, he ran when he needed to. He was sliding, not getting hit. The runs were working. Like, this is everything that we possibly could have hoped that Cam would be. I mean, like, I couldn't come out in the beginning and be like, yeah, Cam is going to come out and this is what he's going to do. But he's actually doing that. I mean, can't be mad at him at all. I mean, as the whole thing was said and done, he missed that run on the very last play of the game with 3 seconds left.
Yep.
But shortly before that, he threw a pass to Julian Edelman in the end zone, and Edelman dropped it. That was ball game. Edelman catches that ball. We're having a different conversation. New England's 2-0. Cam throws for over 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, runs for 2 touchdowns. And now you're like, damn. Like, Cam about to carry New England. So, I mean, like, even in the loss, it's not all lost.
Right. True.
Like, for anyone, including myself, like, all Patriot fans watched that and was like, damn, like, we really wanted to win that game. Like, I mean, we were so close to winning that game, you could taste it. Even in not winning it, we're like, hey, I'm great with that product that we got right there.
Yes,
like,
sir.
that's only
Yes,
going to
sir.
build.
Yes,
It's
sir.
going to get better. You can see what they're doing. The team loves him. It looks like Bill Belichick has eased up just a bit. Josh McDaniels is having fun. It's like, man, there's no better scenario that we possibly could have asked for after the exodus of Brady that we pick up Cam and carry this train on this way.
Go
ahead, Bill.
I'll only say this one point. Now, if you look at that last play you mentioned where he was doing the run with the 3 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
They still probably could have won the game had he just cut it to the outside. He went inside those guys he ran into the defense. If he had just had a little better vision and kept it to the outside, I believe he would have had a touchdown, man.
I don't even know if that was about vision. Jacob Johnson got blown up.
Yeah.
But it was like nothing was to his left going to the outside. He could have kept that had he just
you pick the block up and you got a Cam and big body and the weight and how he runs. He still gets in.
Yeah.
He gets in. My thing is, we talked about Russ. He's got 140 rating right now after 2 games. 52 completions out of 63 attempts. The one pick that he got, 9 TDs. It is amazing what he's doing after 9 years of being in the league. A guy that a lot of these NFL prognosticators said he wasn't going to be that good. Even after the first Super Bowl win, they said, that's all defense. Should have had the second one blown, dumbass call on the goal line. We all understand what that, But when you look at it and you say to yourself how he's progressed, how he looks, even though there's the Mahomes, there's the Jacksons and all these cats out here, Russ is still the prototype for this new age quarterback, right? He's that guy. Yeah. So I think right now, if the MVP was given right now, he's going to be that guy. And typically, he started out slow. What is the league going to look like now that Russell Wilson started out at this clip? Man. You could be looking at a season career-setting year for Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Right. To your point about the way Cam played, right? Again, everybody said, New England, this, that, and the third. They still don't have enough athletes, enough players, this, that, and the third, to go up against a team that a lot of people are picking to win the NFC, and you lose it with 3 seconds left in the game. I think they played a hell of a game, and Cam is that guy. We talked about it earlier. If Cam can come out and he can be healthy like he's shown everybody, he's also brought a culture to the team that's kind of like, hey, man, we can kind of be light a little bit, have fun with this thing, and still win.
Right.
And I think Belichick, Belichick got a Subway commercial. Like, have you ever seen Belichick with a Subway commercial or a commercial of anything? He never smiled anything.
Right,
so
he never smiled.
He cut the sleeves.
It's the whole Cam effect, right? And that deal might have been in the works a long time ago. But again, kudos to Belichick about understanding the way the game is changing, right? And what he has to do. He won based on the personnel that he had and how he had to coach it. So now you see him saying, hey, I got now a larger-than-life quarterback with a huge personality.
Right.
That's going to ball out, going to play, and he's healthy. A healthy Cam Newton in that system.
It's dangerous.
With them cats, the OC and Belichick, is a problem. We said it here. If he can come in there and be healthy and do all that and winning and going in, losing to a perennial NFC champion with 3 seconds left, nobody is saying, oh, well, shit, Cam sucks. No, everybody's saying, I like where we are.
Right.
I like where we are.
There's no doubt. I mean, Cam, he's off to a great start. Like I said, without playing football for a good minute before then.
Damn near 15, 16 months.
Right.
I mean, he took damn near 2 years off.
2 years basically off.
Really 2 years off, yeah.
And then for him to get adjusted to one of the most elite systems in the NFL, I think it's pretty impressive too.
Overnight.
Do you think the system's elite or Belichick just make it so simple that an athlete can perform in it? You think about Brady had Randy Moss. Everybody else was no-name guys. Except for Gronk, and then you had Hernandez, right? But everybody else was no-name guys, not a real deep running attack. They just play with the athletes they have. If I know you're a great guy, you don't have the speed to stretch the defense, but you're going to run a crisp-ass route and you're going to be open underneath, I'm going to feed the Edelmans. I'm going to feed these cats like that. I got a tight end. Tight end's been their staple. I get me a big, high-powered tight end that can do what he got to do, exploit the mismatches and so forth. Brady sees a game like nobody else. We call him the Sith Lord for a reason. And now he has an accurate, strong arm, mobile quarterback. It's a whole the playbook opens up. Everything.
If Julian Edelman can stay healthy, he might actually merit the conversations that he's been getting. I mean, I know recently a lot of folks have been like, is Edelman a Hall of Famer? Because his postseason numbers are second to only Jerry Rice's. But in the regular season, it's are you serious? But you can't even have this conversation. But you see, he had a career game in only a second game with Cam.
Let me ask you this question. Postseason is what we grade people on. Everybody,
Postseason is what we grade quarterbacks and coaches on.
but even wide receivers. Like, do you show up during the big games? Yes, he does. If you're going to give the same props to Brady and all these quarterbacks, you got to give it to the guy. The catch he made against the Falcons.
Oh, I mean, Edelman's definitely like, we start talking about January forward, Edelman's in this conversation.
Yes, like he's in the conversation regardless. You know, when you look at undersized, and I'll say it, white receivers, shit, in a league where athleticism has kind of been paramount, Julian Edelman's done his goddamn thing.
Yeah, but if Julian had caught that damn pass, we'd be 2-0.
And that's kudos to Cam, because what we talked about in weeks prior is Cam have to show up for the big games. And the big game last week was not his fault.
No.
He did his job. His numbers, even his numbers look amazing.
They were impressive.
397 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
he's 68% completion.
He's doing his thing. He's doing his part. He's doing his job right now.
Well, he needs to be focused. Yep.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're absolutely not mad at Cam at all.
Cam.
Yeah.
Whoa, Cam.
Well, I mean, basically, you all just answered the other little question. How would you rate Cam's performance? So it seems like everybody's rating his performance A. A plus, A.
Yeah, A.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
An A. Okay.
And, you know, as long as he's not in the NFC South, man, I root for Cam.
Okay.
I root for him. There's no lie. I do. You know, he's never been one to be accurate as a downfield passer. Just in his career, he's, you know, less than 60%, right? Mm-hmm. But, or might be right at 60%. But as an athlete, as a quarterback, as a guy who really was one of those guys when he came in, there was no comparison to who Cam Newton was. Bigger than most NFL linebackers, could throw it, could run it, could do all that stuff. Now he's gotten older, mature. The game is, you know, we always hear that phrase, the game is slowed down to him. Well, for Cam, the game has truly slowed down to him. Yeah. He's not forcing anything. He's doing his thing.
Letting it come natural to him.
Yeah, he's just coming and doing what he does. You know, and he's being Cam.
And he doesn't dress weird anymore.
I mean, he still dresses weird.
I mean, I haven't really.
And that hair is still atrocious.
It's still wow.
I'm looking at by week 10, like the bye week is week 10.
Okay.
I want a contract extension.
I think it'll happen. I really truly think it'll happen. Everybody's talking about this 1 year.
Yeah.
And, you know, this minimum amount. And Cam said it wasn't about the money.
Right.
It's not.
I was about to say that.
Like by the bye week. Like it doesn't have to happen immediately, but by the bye week, we're getting to the second half, like the backstretch of the season.
Right.
It's like, go ahead and lock him down so he ain't got to worry about, am I auditioning for another team or am I going to be here? Go ahead and get him that extension so he'd be like, okay, I'm here, so let's do it.
Right, yeah, that's good that he's not really focusing on the money aspect, but just what he needs to do in completing his job.
What you'll know and when you'll find out if that's really the case, when Robert Kraft comes out, puts his arm around Cam, and be like,
that's how you know.
Guy.
That's how you know.
Nobody's mentioned Robert Kraft since Brady left?
Well, no, at all. Because you know why?
Talk about it, dude.
Because Robert Kraft is, one, his legal woes. He just got cleared of his legal woes this week. You know, presumably he'll be free of his legal woes. But
that was the last I heard of his name. I was like, I forgot he was the owner.
Yeah, but when he comes out and he makes that public statement that Cam Newton is our quarterback going forward and this, that, and the third,
you know it's real.
You'll know that contract extension is coming because we all know the love affair that he had with Brady, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not even been a secret. So once he says Cam is our guy,
right, you might as well pay him.
That's when that contract extension is coming. So you know, it's a sample size right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you look at it, by week 10, if it happens, they got that. What is it? They're 1-1 now.
Yeah.
They're 1-1 of their shit. If they're 9-1 at that point in time, or 8-2, or whatever the case may be, and he comes out and he puts his hand around Cam, arm around Cam, or in that press conference, that post game after that next big win they have, you'll know then.
Hey, if they come out and beat Kansas City in Arrowhead in week 4, he might get it after that.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the other QBs. They're getting their contract extension, so why not for Cam? He deserves.
Their body of work has been, in place.
Right.
Sean, doing his thing. Everybody in that AFC, when you look at it, you say, okay, well, shit, we got to have somebody that can keep us in this race, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because AFC with accurate athletic quarterbacks is going to be a problem going forward, and you got to be able to beat these guys. You still haven't, they hadn't introduced Tua in Miami at this point, right?
Sure.
Nope.
So now you got to look at the future.
We might see him tomorrow night.
Yeah, you very well may see Tua tomorrow night. So now when you're Kraft, you're Belichick, you're McDonald. You're just saying, hey man, listen, this is our guy.
That's
we
true.
got a seasoned veteran that can do a lot of what these cats can do, and he's, he works well within our system.
That's true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about our last topic. We've been having a good show so far.
Yeah.
So week 3 NFL picks. No analysis, just picks. So to top our first topic off, Miami at Jacksonville. Who do we have?
Yeah, we just talked about this just a hot second ago. We got maybe Tua going into Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Thursday night football, I'm taking Jacksonville. Gardner Minshew's playing a little bit too well. We don't know what Miami's got going on. It's a pick 'em. There's no line on this game. Jacksonville
Really?
straight up.
Really?
Yeah.
Jacksonville for me.
I got Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Okay.
I'm gonna say if Tua comes out in the first half, I'm going Miami. The Tua magic would just kick in. It'd be a way to welcome.
Tua has
this
to come in the third quarter. That's how it works.
Well, I don't think he's gonna come in.
You Bulldog fans know Tua in the third quarter.
So what about
There
Las
you go.
Vegas at New England?
Oh, I mean, that's Patriots all day.
Oh,
Vegas,
of course.
Vegas was the beneficiary of a whole bunch of penalties. They're about to go to New England to get exposed. New England's favored by 6.5. Patriots win and cover the spread.
Patriots,
Okay,
Patriots.
Okay.
I'll go Patriots on that one.
I'm gonna go with Vegas on this one.
All right.
Yeah,
All
bold
right,
prediction.
okay.
Okay. All right. So the LA Rams at Buffalo. Who do we have?
Buffalo. I'm
Buffalo.
taking Buffalo.
I'm taking the Rams. I like what they're
Okay.
cooking over there. The
Okay.
Rams defense looks really strong. Jared Goff is balling. Like I like what what the spread is. Buffalo by 3. They're at Buffalo. That means that it's actually a pick 'em.
Okay.
The Rams are winning.
Rams for me too.
I'm gonna go Rams as well on that one.
Okay.
I think that trip is going to weigh heavy on
It's
them.
early in the season. I don't think it's gonna be much of a difference. They're already in Buffalo right now. They got there today.
Okay. Well, Houston at Pitt.
Really? Yeah, they got there today.
I take Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, spread is Pittsburgh by 6. I'm taking Pittsburgh. They'll cover the spread. Houston ain't got nothing but Deshaun.
At all, and we still
Whole
trying to
thing,
figure
whole
out
thing.
why they got rid of their prime receiver.
Right.
We still don't know, but I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. as
Pittsburgh
well.
for me. Yeah, they got rid of him but he doing a good job. Where he at now? So San Fran at New York Giants. Well, New
Frisco.
York.
I'm taking Frisco all day.
Most def.
I'm
I
going
mean,
Frisco.
it's the injury bowl. I'm gonna take
Right, for
Frisco
Saquon.
by default. Like
Right.
neither team has any key player playing in any position, so I think San Francisco's backups are better than the Giants' backups.
Yeah,
Right.
you got major ACL injuries over in San Francisco, but without Saquon Barkley,
That's a blow.
gotta go San Fran. With
That's a
this.
blow. That's an
Yeah.
easy pick. So San Fran for me too. Yeah, Saquon Barkley. With his injury, that is a blow. What about Tennessee and Minnesota?
Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee.
Okay, the Titans. Okay.
Derrick Henry, and I said it on the show, the load he took last year, he's not been as effective this year at all. They're playing in Minnesota. I'm going to take Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's a 1:00 game at Minnesota. Minnesota played like pure trash last week to the point where they couldn't possibly have played worse than what they played. They will bounce back. They're going to play with an attitude. Minnesota's winning. It's a pick 'em, so it's a straight up. Minnesota got them.
Now,
I picked Tennessee.
do you? Okay.
So Washington at Cleveland.
I'm taking
What a
Cleveland.
nasty
It's a mud
game.
bowl, right? Like this game here does not excite me at all.
Cares?
Yeah.
It does
especially
not
Browns.
excite
Yeah,
me at
especially
all.
with Cleveland.
I'll take
and you
Cleveland, though.
But you never know what Cleveland team is going to show up. Like it just really truly depends on what Cleveland team shows up. If you look at it on paper with the athletes and the position players, you say Cleveland all day long. But then it might be this story year, right, for all the preseason shit with Washington that came out, got a nail bite week 1, and
Too
it's
much
like
drama for Washington.
it's a lot of drama. But hey, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Cleveland shits the bed again
Okay.
because that's just what they do,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go Washington.
I mean, if for nothing else, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt can win that game by
We
themselves.
say that, but
I say Cleveland. I mean, because Washington, they do have a lot of drama going on, or did. So
that fake field over there, man, might throw 3 picks. Trying to do too much, man.
did you pick?
Yeah, I
Okay.
picked Cleveland. Like
Okay.
you said, the 1-2 combo in the backfield, that's hellacious. I think they found an identity last week. They are a running football team.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all heard it. Cincinnati at Philly.
I'm taking
I'm taking Philly.
Philly.
I'm taking Philly.
I'm taking Cincinnati. I mean, I took them last week. I felt like they could have
No
beat
prediction.
Cleveland. They played a great game. Philly sucks.
They do.
Carson Wentz. The only way Philly wins this game is if Carson Wentz gets hurt in the first quarter and Jalen Hurts comes in and takes over.
That's what
I love it.
If Jalen doesn't play, Cincy's winning. I'm taking Cincy.
That's true.
All right.
Philly for me. All right. Here we go. Chicago at ATL.
I told y'all last week. I don't care if they playing Georgia State.
Not Georgia State.
If they playing Southwest DeKalb High School.
Not that.
I am not picking the Falcons to win a single. I ain't picking them no more. Give me Chicago. No faith.
Falcons fans.
I'm turning my back on my boy this week.
Oh.
I'm gonna. I don't have any faith in Mitchell Trubisky.
You got faith in the Falcons?
Tariq Cohen is in well. Roquan Smith in the middle of that defense.
Okay.
Mack in that defense.
It's hard. I know. Just think about it.
Julio hurt. I'm gonna go Shy. And my heart saying Atlanta, but if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna go Shy with that. We still don't have a running game. Ridley can only do so much. Hayden Hurst is not really, he's doing his thing, but he's not really that impact player as of yet. I don't know if Ricardo Allen's going to play a full game this week. Keanu Neal is still down. Tack still with the groin. Julio with the hamstring. It's just too much, man. It's too much right now. Yeah,
it's too much. I'm gonna pick the Bears. Atlanta, for us Atlanta fans, it's just hard for us to really pick them because it's been crazy.
The panel clean sweep Chicago. How about that?
Yeah.
True. All right, New York Jets at Indy.
Indy. No explanation needed. Indy by 7. They'll cover.
I was about to say the Jets have outdone. The Jets is probably the worst team. Well, I'm gonna go Indy as well.
I got Indy also.
Indy.
Yeah.
Now, this next one.
All right. Well, Carolina at Los Angeles.
I'm taking
Carolina
Los Angeles.
SoFi Stadium. The Chargers are favored by 6.5. The Chargers will win. Justin Herbert will ball out since he's been thrust. I can't even say thrust. Mm-hmm. He was aided and abetted into that position, and now they're going to be Carolina.
Let me ask you this question about that, right? Does Tyrod have a shot at coming back?
Tyrod needs to be lawyering up and suing the doctors, the team, the NFL. The NFLPA is looking into it right now.
Okay.
The team doctor puncturing his lung with a shot that was supposed to be for his ribs. It's like, come on, man. Like, if y'all wanted to start Justin Herbert, just put him in the game. You had to do that to Tyrod.
Right.
Damn.
I'm gonna go LA as well on that one, but I just think that he's getting a bum deal. He won it out fair and square, but I think everybody was always that, when are we gonna bring in Herbert? When are we gonna bring in Herbert? And then this happens from a team doctor. I'm gonna still go with LA, but I just think he got a bum deal.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with LA as well. So,
all right.
Well, shoot, next one, Detroit, Arizona. This is easy one.
Kyler Murray train is rolling.
Right, Arizona all day.
If you have Hopkins on your fantasy team,
you're
saddle up.
You're good.
Between Hopkins and also our Atlanta guy, Kenyon Drake, as well, running the ball. So, if you got him in your fan, he's that inside the red zone guy. Yeah, he's right off Hillgrove.
I know he was a Bama guy, but
Hillgrove product. We got a couple of Hillgrove guys in the league.
Shout out.
Got the Chubb brothers. You got Evan Ingram over in New York, and you got my boy Kenyon Drake in Arizona. Yes.
All right. Well, yep, Arizona for me. Tampa Bay at Denver.
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
At Denver, we taking Brady and them. They favor by 3.5.
Right, because Denver injuries.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay as well.
Same for me. Let me mark that out. Mark that.
Driscoll is supposed to be starting
now. This game here.
It's getting real.
The next game.
These last 3.
Talk to Alaygra.
Oh, Dallas at Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, that's no brainer. Okay. Seattle.
It's not a no-brainer. Seattle's
really
defense is weak. This has been all Russ all day, every day. Mm-hmm. I could easily see Dallas going into Seattle and ending the fairy tale that is the Seattle Seahawks, but I am taking Seattle.
Okay.
Seattle's going to win, but I think Dallas is dangerously close in this game.
I think if Ezekiel Elliott comes out and puts his will on the game, it's going to make it very, very difficult. It keeps Russell Wilson off the field.
Okay.
And if you look at each week with Ezekiel, he's slowly but surely getting into that mode, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. He's a phenomenal running back, and I think a lot of times his off-field antics and all that stuff kind of overshadows who he is as a player.
Right.
gonna go.
And his nose rings.
Listen, man, that tattoo would feed me across your stomach. You lifting up your shirt, man, is absolutely
questionable.
Hey, man, so questionable on so many different levels.
Stamp on your stomach.
I don't judge, but still,
the funky little nose rings and all
Right.
that, man. Hey, man, you might as well say what you want to say about yourself.
People been saying the same thing.
I'm gonna go. It's always been that way. I'm gonna go Seattle still. I think Seattle. I think Russ is still that guy.
Okay.
And he'll find a way to win this game. I'm gonna go Seattle, but it'll be close in the fourth quarter, and then Russ will do his magic.
Okay, most def. So next two, Green Bay at New Orleans.
Green Bay.
Blowout.
How is New Orleans favored by 6.5?
I have
like
no
Vegas
idea.
Hey, if you got money to put on some games,
that is the game to put it on.
Bet the farm on Green Bay. New Orleans is favored by 6.5. Green Bay is going to blow them out.
And you bet it now. Bet it now before it changes. Well, it's Wednesday. What?
So we have more confidence in Green Bay. Seems like
No, it's just the fact that how Aaron Rodgers has been playing. That offense is clicking. Now, wait. Here's the other thing. Devontae Adams, is he out? He's out, right?
No, he's playing.
He's playing. So he's going to play, but he'd be more of a decoy than anything, I think, right? And they'll probably roll the little young cornerback over Devontae Adams. Can't think of Lattimore. They'll run Lattimore over the top of him. But even more so than that, I'm still going to go with Green Bay.
Okay, Green Bay. Okay. Same for me. I go with Green Bay, too.
Now, this Monday night game.
Oh, boy. Okay. So, last but not least.
I might skip football practice for this one.
Kansas City at Baltimore. Who do we have, gentlemen?
I'm taking Baltimore.
Early season win with Baltimore will be one of those things, but it won't be indicative come playoff time. I still say that the fastest team in the rec league always wins. And right now, Kansas City playing like a goddamn rec ball team. There's so much speed. I'm going KC.
Okay.
I mean, Kansas City showed chinks in the armor, and they're not looking as dominant as what they did in that postseason run last season. That's not to say that they won't end up getting there, but they're not there yet. They're going to go into Baltimore. They're going to lose. I got Baltimore winning that game 38-31. They'll cover the spread. Baltimore's favorite 2.5. The Ravens are taking this thing. I think the Ravens will get up really big. Kansas City will come back, but not all the way.
I'll take Baltimore. Like I said, they've proven. I mean, you see how close they came last year. So this past year. So I say Baltimore over KC.
So you're saying the late fourth quarter antics of Kansas City won't prevail this week?
It won't be enough.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
They'll get within a touchdown, but they're going to lose.
Gotcha.
Outro time.
All right.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, man, listen. It's your boy DB coming at you one more time. Petty Sports Wednesday night edition. I'm rocking my Hillgrove football hat, man. I coach 8th grade over at Hillgrove, man. We're doing some phenomenal things over there with some good athletes, man. Great program. Glad to be a part of that system, man. Glad to be here, and I'm out. Petty Sports Wednesday. See you guys next week. Let's make this thing happen.
Yes, sir. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, FamousFeez. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. You can find me Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that FamousFeez. Hey, every Wednesday night, y'all tune in. Y'all seen we brought my man Dio Orlando Ledbetter to come in to talk about your birds. We had Jay Ford, the Hoops Prophet, in this week. Stay tuned. I ain't even going to tell you who we going to have in. Every week, we got something in store for you. Check us out. It's Petty Sports, baby.
It's your girl, Lay signing out. And, I'll be serving looks every week because you see I have a different look every week.
You serving looks?
Serving looks.
You trying to catch one? You trying to catch something? You already got a little stalker, but we ain't going to talk about
that. We're going to talk, But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, follow me on Instagram, Alaygra Wells _24. You know how to get at me.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Wednesday night. Petty Sports Show brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. Want to thank Petty Man behind the ones and twos over here doing it. You know what I'm saying? Making it work with the graphics, the sound, and the camera work and all that, man. So appreciate you guys for starting the watch parties and all that. And remember, we always on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch. If you go to the Post 880 Simple Radio app, you can hear us all the time. That's a 24/7 radio station. We play music, R&B, gospel, hip hop. Might hear a little country, trap music, all that, man. So tune in. It's a free app. Get it. Type in the Post 880 and go in, man. We got all other kind of shows on the platform. 808 on the beats on Fridays with D Bizzle, Q Smooth. You got Sunday with No Name the Podcast. Myself, Banks, Joker So Misunderstood, Miss Riz. Mondays, Hot 3 with Henry Patterson and Jay Frage. Tomorrow night, you got Watch for the Hood with Petty Man. What was that? J-Bo and